my dear students, I'm back with another lesson. The topic of my lesson today is the summary of the play The Proposal, written by Anton Chekhov, episode 1. Since it is not possible to cover the entire play in one episode, I have divided the play into many episodes, and this is the first episode of my first session, and I will be talking to you about all the important characters and giving you a hint of the first half of the summary. Before I move further, let me repeat the drill that this video is not a substitute for your primary textbook. It is mandatory for you all to read your textbook first and then use this video as a secondary reference. And while watching this video, please have your book open and also have a pen or pencil in your hand and then watch the video. Anton Chekhov, the writer of the play The Proposal, his full name is Anton Pavlovich Chekhov. Okay. Now, a professional medical doctor and the master of short stories, Anton Chekhov is well regarded as a Russian writer, short story writer, and a renowned writer of all time. Okay, and he was a modernist. I mean, he played a very important role in also gave a lot of contribution in modernism. Therefore, he is also known as modernist. Okay, some of his important works are The Seagull, The Three Sisters, and The Cherry Orchard. Now, talking about the title, that is The Proposal, the original title of the play is A Marriage Proposal, and it is written in the style of one-act play. Now, what is one-act play? One-act play is a play with one act and one or more scenes. Now, in William Shakespeare's play, in full-fledged play, you will see William Shakespeare's play has 5 acts, okay, and under that act it has multiple scenes, but in one act play you will have only one act and 1 or 2 scenes. Okay, so everything starts and ends within one particular act. So this one act play follows 3 elements, that is unity of time, place and action. Unity of time it is the play completes within 24 hours. If you see in Proposal, the entire action completes within 1 day. Okay, it won't take 2 or 3 days, but it will complete. The entire scene completes within one particular day. In fact, some 3-4 hours, within 3-4 hours only. Unity of place, that means in one act play you will always have one particular place. Like for example, in the play Proposal, it is Chubukov's house that forms the setting of the play, that is one place. Okay. Now, unity of action, one act. So, matlab, everything happens within that particular place, within 1 hour and with one action. There's no other subplots happening, but they go other scenes, minor scenes or subplots happening. Okay. Now, to sum up, one act play has one theme developed through one situation to one climax. भनेको मतलब तपाईको one act play मा एउटा particular theme हुन्छ. That theme they'll carry and create a situation, and from that situation you will have one particular problem, and from that particular problem your scene is extended further, and त्यहीबाट तिम्रो के हुन्छ climax हुन्छ, and that will how leads to the resolution. Okay, resolution meaning the end. Okay, and it deals with the problem of marriage. Probably is the one act play probably the common theme would be the problem of marriage, which you will see in the play, that is The Proposal. Tapaiko Proposal play ma pani ke cha, the problem is basically about marriage. Okay, and it is a farce. What is a farce? The entire play is a farce. Farce bhaneko a comic play with a disorganized plot and strange situation. Of course, right? The play Proposal is a comedy. So what is the purpose of comedy? The purpose of comedy is to arouse laughter. Bhaneko matlab हामीलाई के हुन्छ हाँस उठ्छ. It is just to set your mood in a very light way, right? And त्यहाँदेखि के पनि हुँदैन रहेछ तपाईको द प्लट इज भेरी डिसअर्गनाइज्ड इफ यु सी एउटा दुईटा सीन हुँदै 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 आउँछ प्रपोजलमा पनि देयर इज नो पर्टिकुलर अर्गनाइज्ड प्लट ह्यापनिङ ओके देयर आर सम र्यान्डम सीन्स द्याट्स कमिङ र्यान्डम डायलॉग्स कमिङ एन्ड द प्लट इज इन अ वे अनअर्गनाइज्ड डिसअर्गनाइज्ड ओके and strange situations matlab you'll get to know through the dialogues and through the actions of the characters you will understand that the characters are pretty strange and the thoughts which they develop in their head is also absurd strange okay so this is the entire motive of the play proposal that is to evoke laughter that is comic is a comedy okay and also to express the theme of what marriage that is the proposal so the three important elements you all have to know before you read a play is first the setting the plot and the character which I have not mentioned in my slides but setting भन्नाले के बुझिन्छ the place of action so कहाँ छ proposal play मा Chibuku's place characters three important characters that I will eventually discuss in my next slide okay and the plot also we will talk about it with time okay now plunging into the main characters of the play the proposal there are three important characters and the first character is Stefanovich Chibukov, who is the landowner and the father of Natalia. One very important character. When the play opens, you will get to see him first. Okay, followed by Natalia Stefanova, she is the daughter of Chibukov and the friend of Lomov. Okay, and the third important character of the play is Ivan Vasovich Lomov. He is also a landowner and a neighbor of Chibukov. So entire play revolves around these three characters. So you all must remember the name and the spelling of the characters correctly, which is very important for your exam. Now, talking about the main play, that is the proposal, the scene opens with Chibukov sitting in his drawing room, followed by the entry of Lomov, who is fully dressed and wears a gloves in his hand. So on seeing Lomov, Chibukov is surprised and he basically wonders that or thinks that Lomov has come to borrow money from him and he eventually thinks that he would not give him it away. Now, Lomov says to Chibukov that actually he has come there to ask the hand of whom Natalia for marriage. And Chibukov is extremely happy, surprised and happy to hear the news. In fact, he is off balance out of joy. And there he says, so Lomov says, 1 minute, this very minute, the fact is, I have come to ask the hand of your daughter, Natalia Stefanova, in marriage. So Chibukov's reaction is, joyfully, he's surprised, he's very happy, okay, khusi bhaisakyo. By Jove, Ivan Vasovich, say it again. I didn't hear it all. So what he meant is like, I'm so happy, he's so happy because what? Lomov is the owner of a land, he has enough property, he is in a way rich and Natalia has also reached a marriageable age. Okay, so बिहा गर्ने उसको उमेर भइसक्यो उसको छोरीको. So त्यही कारणले केरा नपाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ के हुन्छ जब लोमोभले प्रपोजल अगाडि राख्छ बिहाको प्रपोजल so Chibukov is extremely happy out of joy. Okay, and he says okay, why not? I have not mentioned one particular line. Then after that Chibukov also says that Natalia is equally in love with you. She is madly in love with you. She is like a cat who's madly in love with her mate. So this is what Chibukov's reaction is. But Lomov on the other hand is nervous, tensed because he has come with what? The proposal, and he worries whether Natalia will give her consent or not. Whether Natalia चाहिँ के गर्छ उसको proposal के गर्छ accept गर्छ कि गर्दैन भनेर यहाँ Lomov चाहिँ on the other hand is very tensed. Okay, so the action is quite comic, but I can't enact right in a way. So this is what the first scene, the meat is about. So I have not given a line-by-line explanation of the play. It is quite difficult. So what I have done is I have divided into paragraphs. I have divided into some sections like the meat, the reason, the disease. So in a way, that's why I tell you this is a secondary reference. So once you have finished reading the text, you read this, you watch this, and you will understand it much better. Okay. Now after this meet, Lomov gives his reason to marry Natalia. He says that Natalia is an excellent housekeeper, she's an average looking woman and educated too. So Lomov on the other hand has already reached the age of 35, which according to him is a very critical age. Okay, so he wants to marry Natalia and live a very regular, straight and quiet life. Okay, so that's why he says, he gives these reasons to whom? To Chubukov, and he says, this is the dialogue of Lomov said to whom? Chubukov. Okay, and he says, Natalia Stevanova is an excellent housekeeper, not bad looking, well educated. What more do I want? Yes, what more does he want? Okay, she has everything what a man requires. But I am getting a noise in my ears from excitement. He is very excited to present this news. Therefore, he is listening all sorts of noise inside his ears. And it's impossible for me not to marry. In the first place, I'm already 35, a critical age. So 35, the age of 35 for men is according to Lomov a critical age. Therefore, he must get married. Okay. So to speak. In the second place, second reason. So first reason what he gave? Age 35. Second reason for Lomov to marry whom? Natalia is, I ought to lead a quiet and regular life. So what he wants a very quiet, silent and a regular, straight life. Does not want any hustle bustle in his life. So these are the two important reasons that Lomov gives to marry whom? Natalia. Number one, he is already 35, a critical age. Number two, he wants to live a silent, regular and straight life with whom? Natalia. And number three, or the main reason is that she is an excellent housekeeper, educated and a good looking woman. Okay, so this is very important for you all to remember the reason why Lomov wanted to marry Natalia. Therefore, I have titled it as Reason to Marry Natalia. Okay, now after the reason, he says something else which is quite weird. He says that he suffers from what? Palpitations, and he often gets upset easily, and he suffers from this weird disease that he feels whenever he sleeps or tries to sleep. He feels a pull in his left shoulder and head and jumps, walks here and there, and blabbers certain things and feels a kind of gets a kind of panic attack, and he gets more than 20 times at night. And that's quite funny. That's quite funny and absurd and strange and weird. Okay, and he says, see what he says, okay. He says, Lomov says, I suffer from palpitations. Palpitations maneko heartbeat fast hono, right? Rapid movement of your heartbeat, okay. And I am excitable and always getting awfully upset. He easily gets upset, meaning, okay, he is quite sensitive. So you have to understand that this person is very sensitive and easily gets upset with whatever things he hears and gets what? Palpitations. At this very moment, my lips are trembling, and there's a twitch in my right eyebrow. अब अहिले पनि उले भन्दै गर्दा यो चुबुकुवलाई भन्दै गर्दाखेरि उसले के हुँदै रहेछ, यति बेला उसको ओठ, lips are trembling, काम्दै रहेछ, okay, and there's a twitch in my right eyebrow भनेको आँखा फुरफुराउनुलाई twitching भन्छ. Twitching of your eyebrow means आँखा फुरफुराउनु. अब उसको राइट पट्टिको आँखा पनि फुरफुराउँदै रहेछ, ओठ पनि काम्दै रहेछ. अब इमेजिन गर न एउटा मान्छेलाई गर्दै यस्तो गर्दै भन्दै गरेको. So this is basically to arouse laughter, okay. It is quite weird and funny. But the very worst of all is the way I sleep. So he says, the way I sleep. Okay, now what is it? I no sooner get into the bed and begin to go off when suddenly something in my left side gives a pull. Left side and I can feel it in my shoulder and head. Okay, उसको टाउको र shoulder को left side मा चाहिँ उलाई feel हुँदैछ त्यो तानेको जस्तो. Okay, and I jump up like a lunatic. Lunatic भनेको पगलाहरु जस्तो. Okay, mad person. So उ चाहिँ उफ्रिँदै रहेछ पगला मान्छे जस्तो राति. Okay, त्यो pull feel भएर walk about a bit and lie down again. So राति चाहिँ हिँड्दै रहेछ धताको जस्तो निन्द्रामा हिँड्छ नि sleep walking जस्तो. अब यतिकै हिँडेर चाहिँ फेरि jump गरेर उफ्रेर अन्त सुत्दै रहेछ. But as soon as I begin to get off to sleep, there's another pull. So जस्तो सक्को उ म्यानेज गरेर अब सुत्नु फेरि खोज्दाखेरि चाहिँ again second attack, again second time उठेर again धताको जस्तो के गर्नु हिँड्नु उफ्रिनु अब. And this may happen 20 times. It's very weird. Okay, imagine this kind of attack happens to him how many times a night? 20 times a night. 20 पल्ट चाहिँ उ उफ्रेर के भन्छ walk गरेर त्यहाँदेखि त्यो pull feel गरेर. अब imagine a normal person sleeping next to you. Okay, and उलाई पनि त्यस्तो खालको attack भयो भने तिमीहरु के हुन्छ? You'll be like उलाई चाहिँ के भूत छोड्यो. You'll feel that the person is possessed, right? Kinaki he does all the possible sorts of actions at night. So it is quite scary. So this is the drawback of whom? Of Lomov. Okay, तर उले आफ्नो drawback पनि के गर्यो confess गर्यो कि see, I want to marry but I have this problem also. Okay, but you will know that Chubukov ignores his problem because he is more into property. अब उलाई बिहा गर्यो भने he is a wealthy person, so मेरो छोरीले wealth पाउँछ. So forget about what his disease is, what his reaction all about. Okay, now moving on to the next. After talking about the disease, I feel it's very important, but it is very important for you all to remember the disease, the explanation of all the kinds of things that he says, very important for your answer. Okay, now after talking about the disease, it's the Natalia who comes in. Okay, Natalia comes into the scene, and now Natalia is wearing an apron, okay, and she is trying to shelling off the dry peas for drying. Okay, so के भन्दैछ peas को बोक्रा निकाल्दै उले चाहिँ drying को लागि चाहिँ बाहिर निकाल्नुको लागि जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ she happens to see whom? Lomov, and she offers him cigar and she talks with him affectionately, she greets him. Okay, and त्यति बेला चाहिँ उनीहरुको normal conversation हुन्छ. They talk about weather, they talk about how their families respected each other. So in a way it is a very affectionate and a very lovely conversation they have initial. So पहिला चाहिँ उनीहरुको कस्तो talk हुन्छ, राम्रो talk हुँदै गरेको हुन्छ. Okay, they talk about how Natalia says how she could not send her workers for work because of the wetland, right? भिजेको ल्यान्डले गर्दाखेरि उसले workersहरुलाई send गर्न सकेन, and how Lomov also says that his family respected whose family? Chubukov's family, Natalia's family. एउटा happy conversation नै set हुँदै गर्दा चाहिँ Lomov accidentally says, not accidentally but casually says that you will remember that my oxen meadows touch your birchwoods. Now what is an oxen meadow? An oxen meadow is a plot of land and the owner of that oxen meadow is supposed to be Lomov. Okay, and birchwood is also another plot of land and the owner of this is Chubukov, Natalia's father. So this is a diagrammic representation of the three lands that which they mention in the play. That is birchwood, Chubukov is the owner, oxen meadow, the green one, Lomov is the owner, okay, and burnt marsh, where Chubukov is the owner. Okay, now who is the owner of Oxen Meadow is the real question. In fact, the entire play revolves around this particular matter, subject matter, that is who is the real owner of Augustan Meadow. So yahanira chai problem chai ke bhayo bhanda chai my Augustan Meadow touches your birchwood bhanera Lomovle bhandecha, my मेरो Augustan Meadow bhandecha. But according to Natalia, Augustan Meadow is not Lomov's, but it is her. It is her and her father's property. Okay, Natalia will excuse me भनेर भन्छ हैन, त्यहाँदेखि उसको के हुन्छ reply, उसको next answer, excuse my interrupting you, you say my Augustan Meadows, but are they yours भनेछ. Natalia ले सोध्दैछ, you are saying तिमीले claim गर्दैछौ that is your भनेर, is it really yours भनेर सोध्दैछ. Lomov says, yes, mine, it is mine भनेछ. Natalia says, what are you talking about? Augustan Meadows are ours, not yours. So Augustan Meadow चाहिँ तिम्रो हैन, हाम्रो, के कुरा गरेको भनेर भन्दैछ. अब just a minute ago they were having a happy conversation. अब suddenly there's a change in the mood of the conversation also, and they eventually slowly they will start arguing. Okay, their mood will change from lovable mood to angry mood. Now they are angry. Okay. And according to Natalia, this is a diagrammic representation of what Natalia says in the third section. Okay, she says, both my grandfather and great grandfather, usko jun chai grandfather ra great grandfather le chai reckoned भन्नु भएको थियो कि that their land extended to burnt marsh, which means that Augustan Meadows were ours. So उनीहरुको great great grandfather र grandfather ले के भनेको थियो रहेछ, उनीहरुको property चाहिँ कहाँसम्म extend भएको रहेछ, तपाईको burnt marsh सम्म extend भएको रहेछ. So that means Augustan Meadow is between birchwood and birch marsh. So in a way Augustan Meadow kosko property भयो, Natalia ko property भयो. So this is what she tries to tell whom? Lomov. But Lomov says no, Augustan Meadows is ours. So in the next slide I will give you the history of Augustan Meadow as said by Lomov. Now the next slide, okay, which I have titled it as Hypocrite, Natalia and Chibukov. Okay, उनीहरु एकदमै strange खालके weird मान्छे छ, जो बोल्छ त्यो गर्दैन, जो गर्छ त्यो भन्दैन. Okay, something like that. Okay, so when Lomov in fact even says that he has a legal document claiming that the property belongs to whom? Lomov. Okay, but Natalia says it's okay. Anyway, the Augustan Meadow is a small patch of land, it's a small plot of land. It has not worth, okay, it is not worth of like even 300 rubles, hardly 300 rubles hola tesko. So I don't want it. Okay, Mansa. So Lomov is so tired with the conversation, not with the conversation, but with the argument, that he in fact even says that, okay, since you claim that land is to be yours, I am the actual owner of the land, more actual owner land ko, but I will what? Gift you as a, I will give you that land as a gift and you take that land away. I don't want Lomovle bandesa haina. He is even planning to give Natalia that particular patch of land as a gift. But Natalia on the other hand is such a hypocrite. She herself says and claims that the land go worth hardly 300 rubles bhancha, but she also says on the other hand, she says, no, I cannot stand unfairness. Who are you to even give me that land as a gift? I myself will give you that land as a gift. It is egoistic is Natalia. She in return says ki, Timi ko, who are you to give me that particular land as a gift? Okay, I am the owner of Augustan Meadow. Mo po the land त्यो owner. Mo तिमीलाई उल्टा दिन्छु land त्यो gift गरेर. And hardly त्यो कति 300 rubles को पनि value छैन, worth छैन. Okay, and but I cannot stand unfairness भन्दैछ. अब यो चाहिँ unfair भयो. I am the owner and you are claiming it to be as the owner and उल्टा मलाई दिन्छौ भनेर चाहिँ उलाई hypocritical answer दिँदैछ. Okay, म चाहिँ unfairness withstand गर्न सक्दिन भनेर भन्दैछ. So therefore she says, these meadows aren't worth much to me. मेरो लागि कति पनि value छैन त्यो Augustan Meadow को. They only come to 5 descendants that is there, okay, and are worth perhaps 300 rubles. 300 rubles ko khali value cha, okay, but I can't stand unfairness. Say what you will, but I can't stand unfairness. Unfairness, injustice se mo stand garnu sakdina, because that land is legally ours and not yours, and which I cannot, you have to understand what basically he's trying to say. And Chibukov says, okay, this is another line. This is just the first dialogue I have given you to highlight the hypocritical attitude of Natalia. On the other hand, Chibukov is also equally hypocritical. Strange character. Matlabi, very business minded, very selfish character. How? I will tell you. So, in the first line, in the first scene, that is the meat scene, which I have already explained to you in my first slide before I started the play. Since Chibukov and Lomov meets together, right? And when Natalia makes an entry, Natalia says, "Papa, who has come? Ko aako cha?" So her papa in turn replies, he could have easily replied saying ki Lomov aako cha, Lomov has come. No. He replies it in a very commercial way. You know how he says? Chibukov says, when Natalia asks, "Ko aako cha?" Chibukov replies saying, "Go, there's a merchant come for his goods." Euta merchant aako cha, afno saman linu, afno goods linu, aako cha bhancha. So, yahanira timro goods se ko ho, Natalia ho. Okay, because what is the purpose of Lomov's meet out there? Lomov has basically come for what? The proposal. He has come to ask the hand of whom? He has come to ask the hand of Natalia. And the papa le tabada chike aksa, you're a merchant aako cha bhande. It's a merchant, obviously he's a businessman, right? And afno goods linu, afno saman linu aako cha bhande cha. So here you can understand from this particular line only timirle bujhnu sakchau ki how hypocritical and how business minded is his father, who considers his own daughter as one good, as one product. Okay, and she's apparently giving it away to whom? One man. For what? Property. For property and wealth and so many things. Okay, so therefore he says, Chibukov says, go there, a merchant come for his goods. So Natalia is considered like a commodity, a good, a product just to consider gareko cha. So for them, so in a way you can understand, for them marriage is not a union between two lovers, but it is between the two. Marriage between the two is more like a deal for profit, a deal for wealth, a deal for more property, So there's no sort of love, but there's only what? There's more of business, there's more of money, there's more of wealth, there's more of profit, and there's more of helplessness. Since koi pani bhetina, यसलाई बनाउँछु scapegoat हुन्छ नि. केटाकोमा पनि already problem छ. Okay, he's suffering from a disease, and which I feel a normal girl would not accept a person like Lomov, जो राति राति धताएर नसुतेर धताउँदै बसिबस्छ every time, and he has this problem and it repeats it like how many times? 20 times a night. Okay, which is quite weird and strange and funny. Okay, and but Natalia pani is of a marriageable age, upani afno umer pugisakyo, and she's also looking for what? She's looking for a man, a good man, a wealthy man to marry her. So when both the person are waiting for an opportunity, so they are just what? Seizing the opportunity. They're just grabbing it. They're just ignoring all the flaws. Okay. Now, the history of Augustan Meadow. Now, they talk about the history of Augustan Meadow. According to Lomov, it is his aunt's grandmother, which is equal to Lomov's great grandmother. Ab Lomov ko che great grandmother le che, she has given this Augustan Meadow for free use to the farmer, of whose farmer? Of Chubukov's grandfather. which is equals to Natalia's great grandfather. So for how many years? For 40 years. Okay, so in return, that is Chibukov's grandfather, which is also known as Natalia's great grandfather, in return they gave or they made bricks for her. For how many years? For 40 years. So 40 वर्षसम्म चाहिँ ग्रान्डमदरले, that is लोमोभको ग्रेट ग्रान्डमदर, अब लोमोभको आन्टीको ग्रान्डमदर चाहिँ के भयो? लोमोभको ग्रेट ग्रान्डमदर भयो नि त। लोमोभको ग्रेट ग्रान्डमदरले चाहिँ त्यो तपाईको ओक्सन मेडो चाहिँ के गर्नु फ्री युटिलाइजेसनको लागि चाहिँ दिएको थियो रहेछ। कसलाई? नटालियाको ग्रेट ग्रान्डफादरलाई। भनेपछि चुबुकुभको ग्रान्डफादरले चाहिँ त्यो चाहिँ के गरेको थियो रहेछ? त्यो चलाएको थियो रहेछ। ओके, त्यो ल्यान्ड, प्लट अफ ल्यान्ड चाहिँ आफ्नो फार्मर्सहरूलाई चाहिँ युज गर्नु दिएको, चलाउनुको लागि मागेको थियो रहेछ, उनीहरूले चलाएको रहेछ। त्यसको बदली चाहिँ उनीहरूले के गर्थ्यो रहेछ? लोमोभको ग्रेट ग्रान्डमदरलाई चाहिँ तपाईको ब्रिक्स बनाएर, इटा बनाएर चाहिँ दिन्थे रहेछ। कति वर्षको लागि? 40 years. So since the farmers use the land for 40 years, okay, they eventually regarded that particular piece of land as their own. Okay, so 40 वर्षसम्म त्यो फ्री युज गरेको गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ लास्टमा फार्मर्स एन्ड इन्क्लुडिङ द ग्रान्डफादर, ग्रेट ग्रान्डफादरहरूले चाहिँ के गरेछ? मेरो हो, उनीहरुकै ल्यान्ड हो भनेर चाहिँ के गरेछ? उनीहरुले बिलिफ, त्यही सेल्फ बिलिफमा चाहिँ बसेर चाहिँ यता चाहिँ नटालियाले चाहिँ हाम्रो भन्दैछ। तर यहाँनिर चाहिँ लोमोभको हिस्ट्री अनुसार, लोमोभले हिस्ट्री अफ अक्सन मेडो दिएको छ, त्यो भएको कारण चाहिँ खासमा चाहिँ यो रहेछ। Lomov even claims that he has a legal document claiming that the property is his. So your part चाहिँ तिमीहरुको very important हो. You must remember and focus. Aunt's grandmother. अब जस्ट तिमीहरुलाई लोमोभ्स ग्रेट ग्रान्डमदर चाहिँ मैले कन्सेप्टको लागि खाली दिएको, तर what you have to mention in your answer is it's aunt's grandmother. लोमोभ्स aunt's grandmotherले चाहिँ अक्सन मेडो चाहिँ कति वर्षको लागि? 40 इयर्सको लागि फ्री युजको लागि यहाँ दिएको थियो। कसलाई? That is father's grandfather. It was Natalia's father's grandfather. Okay, उसलाई दिएको थियो। अन्त उसले चाहिँ उसको बदली चाहिँ के गर्यो? के दियो? फ्री ब्रिक्स बनाएर दियो। कति वर्षको लागि? 40 years. Must remember, okay? 40 years, and eventually they regarded as their own. So यो चाहिँ तपाईको के हो? यो चाहिँ diagrammatic representation of what Lomov tells whom? Natalia. यो paragraph, the previous paragraph which is तपाईले सबैले you must remember it. Okay, the reason to marry Natalia, the meet, the proposal, अन्त यो the disease, and also the history of Augustan meadows. In this way, the two characters, that is Lomov and Natalia, are having heated conversation, heated argument. Okay, एकदमै डरलाग्दो argument भइरहेको हुन्छ। त्यस बीचमा चाहिँ के हुन्छ? Since Lomov is a person who suffers from this kind of palpitations and all, usko heartbeat rapid हुनु थाल्यो, fast हुनु थाल्यो, okay, and he in a way gets kind of attack, pull everywhere, and he is shouting and screaming at whom? Natalia too equally screaming at him. So when the situation is quite hot, okay, and heated up, and this it is quite funny, okay, the way the narrator describes how Lomov looks. Okay, he's unable to walk and he's unable to talk, he's blushing with red, and he's unable to fight with Natalia, because Natalia is like a hard opinionated woman and going on and on. And in that particular moment, when there is so much of combustion happening there, who makes the entry? That is Chibukov, who comes there, okay? And Chibukov later gets to know about the reason for the argument, and Chibukov also supports whom? His daughter Natalia, and claims Lomov that it is their property. Augustan Meadow is their property and not Lomov's. So Lomov in turn gets angry, he's heated up, and he in fact tells, no, I will take you all to the court, I will take the matter to the court, okay. And in that particular moment, Chubukov and Natalia are so much into the argument, and all the three characters are so into argument that they will, in fact, Lomov will forget the reason why he had come there. Okay, he had actually come there to ask the hand of Natalia, but things get worse and they are fighting like cats and dogs. Okay, and Chubukov too supports his daughter and showers Lomov with malicious meaning bad words. Okay, like he calls Natalia, both Natalia and the father calls Lomov as double-faced. You have to read the play for that. Okay, I have just highlighted all these things for your understanding. Okay, so he calls him double-faced, intriguer, okay, backbiter, rascal, and scarecrow, dishonest, mean, blind hen, turnip ghost. So just a while ago, Chubukov calls before the conversation, before the meet only, or after the meet, just a while ago, Chubukov calls, refers to Lomov as angel and darling and all that, and just after a while, how he changes his personality and calls him double-faced, intriguer, backbiter, dishonest, mean, blind, turnip ghost and all that. Okay. And Chubukov and Natalia together insults Lomov and his family. Yes, they don't stop at this particular moment. They even go further that, and Chubukov and Natalia even plunges into Lomov's family history, and Chubukov in fact calls his family as lunatic family, having the history of lunacy, meaning mad family. Okay, Pakla Parivar. And in fact he says that Chubukov says that Lomov's father was a drunkard, and his younger aunt married an architect or eloped with an architect. So in that way, he insults Chubukov insults Lomov's entire family hierarchy and family, and so in this way they fight, and Lomov also in turn says that Chubukov's mother was humpback meaning kupro pareko. Okay, so bulge shoulder is the back side, bulge bako, kupro pareko, mother ones, I know. And so in this way they argue a lot, they fight a lot, okay, and it's quite hilarious, it's quite funny also to see them. If you see the proposal play, you'll just laugh. In fact, when you read also, you laugh because the scene is quite hilarious and funny. Okay, so etanida palpitations bhairako cha, and he is like red and he's sweating and his heartbeat is high and he's screaming. Both the father and the daughter are ignoring everything and just pounding on him like hungry animals, and he's like a meek lamb but still trying to fight against the two, tiger and tigress, and in that way he even asks for water because the person suffers from palpitation now, so he's looking for water. Okay, but then the two men, that Chubukov and his daughter, ignores everything and keeps on fighting with him, and in a way he's heartbroken. So Lomov at the end is heartbroken and he chooses to leave the place. Okay, so what happens is heartbroken Lomov leaves the house with excess palpitation. So in that way, he leaves the place, the particular house, and not runs away, but he's fed up with the argument. Okay, so eventually he goes without asking the hand of Natalia. So when Lomov leaves the house, Chubukov at that particular moment tells Natalia that tells about the purpose of Lomov's meet, and he says that Lomov had basically come to ask your hand. Okay, it tells Natalia. Natalia is shocked and surprised and screams at her father, and tells, "Why didn't you tell me before? Malai tapaile kina paila nabhannu bhako? I would have reacted in a different way." Okay, and that's she gets to know that he has come to marry her. Okay, come to ask her hand, and she feels she's like torn apart between, she's like shocked, and the father is also a bit upset, and Lomov on the other hand leaves the place, and today's slide, and that's how we are going to end today, because after that there are so many things that will happen. Okay, so we are going to stop here for now and continue the second half of the summary in the next lesson. This is just a basic summary which I am giving you all, because in my next to next episodes or the upcoming episodes I will talk about the second half of the summary, and then we will give you the critical explanation of the summary. We will just pick lines and critically, talk about the characters, talk about the plot, and also about the themes. Okay, so we have much more to do in the later upcoming episodes. For now I will stop here. We will talk about the second half of the story later in my other episode. Okay, so let's wrap up, and yeah, you all stay motivated, stay sane, study well, and stay warm, and thank you.
Greetings to all, one and all who are watching this channel. विशेष गरेर हामी फिजिक्स क्लासलाई अगाडि बढाउने छौं. लास्ट टाइम हामीले जुन चाहिँ टपिकमा हामीले सुरु गरेका थियौं त्यसलाई हामीले अहिले घडी जारी राख्ने छौं, र जुन चाहिँ टपिक्सहरुलाई मैले इन्कम्प्लिट गरेको थिएँ फेरि त्यो सुरु गर्ने छु. Now today we are looking at one relation, refractive index, यसको relation wavelength of the light सँग है. Now we will have a look by Snail's law है. यहाँबाट हेरौँ, एउटा रे अफ लाइट यताबाट आउँदैछ. ओके, सो यो चाहिँ भयो त्यसको नर्मल, सो इट विल गेट रिफ्र्याक्टेड यताबाट. This is angle of incidence and this is angle of refraction. So by Snail's law, refractive index here medium 1 हो, this is medium 2. Refractive index of medium 2 with respect to 1 can be written as sin I by sin R. This also can be written as velocity of light in medium 1 upon velocity of light in medium 2, whereby you have ray of light traveling in medium 1 with speed v1 and ray of light traveling, same ray of light travels in medium 2 with another speed v2. So हामीले एउटा कुरा बुझ्नु पर्ने के छ भन्दाखेरि in traveling from 1 to 2 its frequency, this is important note. ओके, के भन्दाखेरि यसको फ्रिक्वेन्सी रिमेन्स कन्स्टेन्ट. फ्रिक्वेन्सी चाहिँ यो वेभको चाहिँ के हुन्छ, कन्स्टेन्ट हुन्छ, तर यहाँबाट यहाँ जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ यसको स्पिड चेन्ज हुन्छ. नाउ वी नो स्पिड, वेभलेन्थ एन्ड फ्रिक्वेन्सी है, सबै चाहिँ वेभसित रिलेटेड हो. सो एज अकर्डिङ टु वेभ थ्योरी हामीले लाइटलाई वेभ कन्सिडर गर्छ. सो यो एउटा मिडियमदेखि अर्को मिडियम जाँदाखेरि यसको फ्रिक्वेन्सी चाहिँ एज इट इज बस्छ. द्याट इज द फन्डामेन्टल प्रपर्टी अफ वेभ. त्यो चाहिँ सेम बस्छ, तर यसको स्पिड चेन्ज हुन्छ. स्पिड चेन्ज हुँदाखेरि के हुँदो रहेछ, यसको वेभ लेन्थ पनि चेन्ज भएर जान्छ. द्याट इज वाट दिस थ्योरी, वेभ थ्योरी टेल्स अस. Now mu2 1 can be written as, this is relative refractive index. In terms of absolute refractive index, mu2 1 can be written as mu2 by mu1 Li. र यसलाई एकछिन हामीले यो नलेखेर हामीले के लेख्छ, velocity of light in medium 1 divided by velocity of light in medium 2. Now if in medium 1, okay, this wave has a wavelength lambda 1 and travels in this wave with the frequency n1. The same wave in another medium travels with speed v2, corresponding with a corresponding wavelength lambda 2 and with a corresponding frequency n2. But the frequency of a wave is a fundamental property character त्यो चाहिँ as it is बस्छ. So यसको frequency यहाँ n1 छ भने यहाँ n1 नै हुन्छ. So हामीले यसलाई के मानेको छ frequency n छ भने यहाँ पनि n नै अरे. ओके n1 n2 हुँदैन. So now the relationship between velocity of wave and its wavelength are as follows: this into n. Velocity of a wave in any medium is equal to wavelength of the wave in that medium multiplied by its frequency. So यहाँनिर त्यसो भए हामीले we can substitute this by this. v1 is equals to के हाल्नु सक्छ त्यसो भए v1 is equals to lambda 1 into n1. okay, so lambda 1 into n मात्रै हुन्छ because n is the frequency which remains unchanged in both medium. यो भयो n2 into lambda 2 which is n2 into n, that is frequency. हामीले frequency लाई चाहिँ n ले मानिलिएको छ. okay, so this changes to lambda 1 into n upon lambda 2 into n हुन्छ. so n will strike out. What you have is mu 2 by mu 1. This is absolute refractive index of medium 1 of medium 2. This is absolute refractive index of medium 1 is equal to lambda 1 by lambda 2. So what you get is lambda 2 into n2 is equals to lambda 1 into n1. So यसले के बताउँछ भन्दाखेरि ray of light travels in one medium with n2 होइन यहाँ. This is lambda 2 into mu 2 and this is lambda 1 into mu 1. So यसले के बताउँदैछ एउटा मिडियममा जसको रिफ्र्याक्टिभ इन्डेक्स mu 1 छ, रे अफ लाइट ट्राभल गर्छ जसको फ्रिक्वेन्सी n छ र त्यसको वेभलेन्थ lambda 1 छ भने द प्रोडक्ट अफ lambda 1 into its refractive index यो मिडियम को इज इक्वल्स टू अर्को मिडियममा जाँदाखेरि यसको वेभलेन्थ चेन्ज हुन्छ तर साइड बाइ साइड किन चेन्ज हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि मिडियम चेन्ज भयो जस्ट यो सेकेन्ड मिडियमको एब्सोल्युट रिफ्र्याक्टिभ इन्डेक्स lambda 2. सो यु मल्टिप्लाई एब्सोल्युट रिफ्र्याक्टिभ इन्डेक्स विथ दी wavelength of the same ray of light in another medium lambda 2. okay, what you get is equals to the same quantities which you multiply in the first medium. So that means lambda 1 mu 1 is equals to lambda 2 mu 2. So that it basically remains constant. यो दुईटा चाहिँ सेम हुन्छ अरे. So lambda र mu को हामीले उस गरे भने चाहिँ मल्टिप्लाई गरे भने चाहिँ you get same value. So this is almost a constant. These two quantities are constant. Therefore we can write mu into lambda. okay, mu into lambda, that is a ray of light traveling in a refractive index, absolute refractive index mu, traveling whose wavelength is lambda. यो दुईटा गुणा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ you get this. This is a lambda and mu is a constant quantity. So यसलाई हामीले कन्टिन्यू गर्दैछ यहाँ. okay, so we will continue this here. So lambda mu is a constant. That means mu is equals to constant upon lambda, or on removing constant what we can write is proportionality ले replace गर्न सक्छ 1 upon lambda, that is absolute refractive index of any medium is inversely proportional to the wavelength of ray of light traveling in that medium. यसले के बताउँछ भन्दाखेरि for a ray of light whose wavelength is large, for that wave the refractive index is small, and similarly reverse case के हुन्छ for a ray of light whose wavelength is small, for that ray of light refractive index is large. okay, This relationship can be understood by this glass ko lagi. In case of glass, we consider two rays of light. Okay, we consider two rays of light which are monochromatic. One is blue lingare, other is red. Okay, and lambda of red is higher than lambda of blue. Blue color ko wavelength chai red color ko wavelength bhandakeri kamti huncha. Okay, this is what we have, okay, as our experimental result. So हामीले थाहा पाएको experiment अनुसार कि wavelength of blue light is smaller than wavelength of red light. So refractive index of glass हुन्छ, त्यसो भए refractive index of glass चाहिँ ज्यादा हुन्छ रे, जसको wavelength के छ कम्ती छ. सो त्यही glass, okay, refractive index of glass for red light, okay, refractive index of glass for blue light हामीले यो रिलेसनबाट हेर्दैछ. wavelength red light को ज्यादा भएको कारणले गर्दा, and since this is inversely related, wavelength ज्यादा छ red light को, refractive index of red light will be less. Okay, glass, in case of glass. So glass को हिँड्दाखेरि चाहिँ glass मा चाहिँ red light को refractive index will be less हुन्छ. अब wavelength of blue is smaller, much smaller than wavelength of red light. So in case of glass मा हिँड्दाखेरि चाहिँ blue color को जुन चाहिँ light हिँड्छ त्यसको लागि wavelength glass त्यो color को लागि refractive index of glass will be more हुन्छ है. So यो हुन्छ for the same medium, हामीले medium same हेर्दैछ. Same medium will have different values of refractive index depending upon the wavelength of the ray of light which is traveling in that medium. So हामीले अब glass हेर्यो, glass is one such medium र glass मा चाहिँ दुईवटा color of light हेर्छ, monochromatic. One is red color of light, अर्को is blue color of light. र यो दुईटालाई हेर्दाखेरि हामीले के पायो भन्दा, since refractive index is inversely related to the wavelength, so and we know that red color has a higher wavelength than blue color of light, refractive index of blue color is greater than refractive index of red color. Okay, in case of glass. Now जसको refractive index ज्यादा छ, it simply means that त्यो medium मा चाहिँ त्यो medium is optically denser. Okay, now that means red color को के छ, red color चाहिँ glass मा हिँड्दाखेरि it travels with more speed than के छ than blue color, because glass blue color को लागि चाहिँ glass चाहिँ ज्यादा refractive index भएको जस्तो भएको हुन्छ. Okay, so when blue color passes through glass through the same medium, for blue color of light the glass will behave as if it is more denser, optically denser than the red color of light. So it also means that refractive index more भनेको चाहिँ के बुझ्छ भन्दाखेरि, refractive index more भन्नाले चाहिँ यो बुझ्छ कि it will undergo more deviation है. Like for instance यो केसको लागि चाहिँ हामीले यो पनि गरौँ. Okay, this is this is medium 1 and this is medium 2. Okay, any two general medium. So you have a ray of light. Okay, so यानी चाहिँ यसको हामीले यहाँ normal बनायो. This is the normal. So this is angle of incidence say 30 degree अरे. And here we have this is not a single ray of light. We have red and blue color mixed together. Okay, we have a combination of ray of light. यसमा चाहिँ red र blue छ. So since blue color has more refractive index, okay, so this is the projected path. यतापट्टि जानु पर्ने, but the medium has changed. So blue color को चाहिँ के हुन्छ रे, deviation चाहिँ ज्यादा हुन्छ. Blue color को deviation ज्यादा बङ्गिन्छ because it has more refractive index. Okay, the value of refractive index for blue color is more, and यो चाहिँ भयो रे, to be more simple, okay, यो चाहिँ भयो रे air and यो चाहिँ भयो रे glass, air glass interface को कुरा हुँदैछ. Okay, so यो भयो एयर वेन अ रे अफ लाइट द्याट इज रेड र ब्लू कलर कम्बाइन भएको रे अफ लाइट चाहिँ एउटै एङ्गल अफ इन्सिडेन्समा 30 डिग्रीमा चाहिँ हामीले इन्सिडेन्स एउटा इक्जाम्पल लियो 30 डिग्रीमा इन्सिडेन्ट छ र यो चाहिँ यहाँदेखि हामीले हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ रेड र ब्लू कलर एउटै एङ्गल अफ रिफ्र्याक्सन हुँदैन यिनीहरूको द्याट मिन्स एउटै डेभिएसन बङ्गिँदैन ज्यादा डेभिएसन चाहिँ ब्लूको हुन्छ बिकज इट हेज मोर भ्याल्यु अफ रिफ्र्याक्टिभ इन्डेक्स ओके सो यो भयो तिम्रो लेट अस से दिस इज द डेभिएसन अफ ब्लू कलर ओके सो दिस इज एङ्गल अफ रिफ्र्याक्सन फर ब्लू कलर अफ लाइट एन्ड यो चाहिँ भयो अरे हाम्रो रेड कलरको लागि ओके सो दिस इज एङ्गल अफ रिफ्र्याक्सन फर red color of light and this is the deviation for red color of light. So deviation for red color of light is this much, deviation of blue color of light is this much. This is because blue color को चाहिँ refractive index ज्यादा भएको कारणले गर्दा चाहिँ भएको यो. So refractive index high, okay, physical हामीले यसको meaning चाहिँ के बुझ्छ, it undergoes more deviation भनेको. Okay, now हामीले अब यो रिलेसन हेर्यो द्याट इज रिफ्र्याक्टिभ इन्डेक्स इज इन्भर्सली प्रोपोर्सनल टु वेभलेन्थ. ओके सो यो रिलेसनसिपलाई चाहिँ अझै बेटर वेमा चाहिँ कचीको एउटा रिलेसन इक्वेजनले चाहिँ हामीलाई बताउँदैछ. ओके कची भने एउटा कची भन्ने साइन्टिस्टको ओके CAUCH कचीज रिलेसनसिप बिट्विन refractive index of a ray of light and the wavelength, refractive index of the medium and the wavelength of the ray of light which is traveling in that particular medium. Okay, so refractive index here this is absolute refractive index of the medium is given by A plus B by lambda square. Okay, so where A and B they are constants. Okay, that depends depending upon the pair of media. यो दुईटाको भ्यालु जुन चाहिँ छ it purely depends upon the pair of media concerned. medium 1 देखि medium 2 जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ A र B को भ्यालु चाहिँ डिसाइड हुँदो रहेछ. द्याट मिन्स ए सपोज एयर एन्ड ग्लास हो भने ए र बी विल टेक सम भ्याल्यु, डेफिनेट भ्याल्यु. नाउ इफ यु टेक एयर एन्ड वाटर इट विल ए एन्ड बीको भ्याल्यु विल अगेन चेन्ज बिकज द मिडियम हेज चेन्ज. नाउ इफ दिस इज ग्लास एन्ड दिस इज वाटर अगेन ए र बीको भ्याल्यु विल चेन्ज. सो द पेयर अफ मिडिया concerned the pair of media that we have taken, okay, they are concerned with the values of A and B. A र B को values चाहिँ त्यसले लिन्छ. Okay, now graphically this relationship is represented this way. Lambda square भएको कारणले गर्दा this is the value of and this is the axis along which mu is plotted and this is axis along which wavelength or lambda is plotted. So with the increase in lambda your value of mu or refractive index will decrease for a particular medium. All right, now we will take on further investigation. Okay, हामीले wavelength नभनेर चाहिँ this is Cauchy's relationship and the corresponding diagram. Okay, now a ray of light will travel from medium 1 to medium 2 and as it travels it will bend if the mediums are different, if the two media are different. Now the ray of light may travel towards the normal or it may also travel away from the normal. Now under what circumstances or under what cases the rays will bend towards or away, that is what we are going to see. है हामीले त्यही कुरा चाहिँ हेर्दैछ. Now again Snail's law, this is very important law okay, by Snell's law, if this is a ray of light traveling in medium 1 with a velocity v1 and goes into another medium 2 with another velocity v2, making some angle of refraction and some angle of incidence. Angle of incidence is the angle between normal and the incident ray. Similarly, angle of refraction is the angle between refracted ray and the normal. Snell's law, this is medium 1 and this is medium 2. Now, we don't know which is denser or which is rarer, and हामीले पहिला बुझिसकेको छ optically rarer and optically denser medium भनेको के हो. Optically rarer medium मा चाहिँ that particular ray of light or a wave जुन चाहिँ छ त्यो चाहिँ बिस्तारै हुन्छ, त्यसको स्पिड घटेर जान्छ. And if in optically rarer medium मा चाहिँ the speed of light or wave को चाहिँ बढेर जान्छ. So the speed of light चाहिँ maximum चाहिँ vacuum मा हुन्छ. Speed of light जुन चाहिँ छ त्यसको स्पिड को भ्यालु maximum चाहिँ लाइट भ्याक्युम मा हुन्छ और फ्री स्पेस मा पनि हुन्छ और हामीले एयर मा पनि त्यही मानिलिन्छ. भ्यालु चाहिँ कति छ 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Okay, so त्यो चाहिँ भयो speed of light in vacuum and that is denoted by c, small letter c. By Snell's law ले के भन्छ, refractive index of medium 2 with respect to 1 is sin I by sin r. By wave theory, okay, wave theory ले हामीलाई यो रिजल्ट दिएको छ कि refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1 is the ratio of the speed of light in medium 1 to the speed of light in medium 2. So v1 र v2 हामीले यहाँ लेखिसकेको छ. Alright, now यसमा हामीले excuse me, यसमा हामीले के लेख्न सक्छ अझै भन्दाखेरि mu2 by यसमा हामीले अझै यो लेख्न सक्छ. त्यसो भए sin I by sin r is equals to v1 by v2. Alright, यो पनि लेख्न सक्छ. Now, if we take this one, optically, यो चाहिँ भएर यसको absolute refractive index is mu2, absolute refractive index is mu1. Alright, now mu2 1 is equals to mu2 by mu1. त्यो हामीले अस्ति नै एउटा रिलेसन हामीले यसलाई डिराइभ गरिसकेको छ. रिलेटिभ रिफ्र्याक्टिभ इन्डेक्सलाई चाहिँ हामीले एब्सोल्युट रिफ्र्याक्टिभ इन्डेक्स मा कसरी एक्सप्रेस गर्नु त्यो हामीले त्यो रिलेसनलाई डिराइभ गर्यो. दिस इज एब्सोल्युट रिफ्र्याक्टिभ इन्डेक्स, द्याट इज रिफ्र्याक्टिभ इन्डेक्स अफ द मिडियम concerned with respect to air. Okay, this is the absolute refractive index of first medium with air with respect to air, absolute refractive index of second medium with respect to air. Now if mu2 is greater than mu1, mu2 is greater than mu1 भन्नाले चाहिँ के बुझ्छ, medium 2 is optically denser than medium 1. mu2 1 हामीले will study case number 1. If mu2 1 is greater than mu2 is greater than mu1, that is mu2 चाहिँ mu1 भन्दा धेरै. यसले के बुझाउँछ भन्दा यसले यो बुझाउँदैछ कि फर लाइट दिस मिडियम इज डेन्सर, द्याट मिन्स यहाँ लाइटको स्पिड कम्ती हुन्छ, यहाँ चाहिँ धेरै हुन्छ. ओके, दिस इज अप्टिकली डेन्सर. सो द्याट मिन्स हामीले के पाउँछ, mu2 by mu1 is greater than 1. ओके, mu2 by mu1 is greater than 1 भन्नाले के बुझ्छ, mu2 by mu1 mu2 by mu1 is equals to mu2 1. Okay, mu2 1 is greater than 1 बुझ्छ यो. Now mu2 1 is equals to sin I by sin R. Okay, this is b1 by b2 बुझ्यो नि हैन. That means b1 by b2 is यो भयो. Alright, or हामीले के लेख्छ रे, or b1 is greater than b2 यो बुझ्यो. Alright. Then or okay, or ये बुझ्यो, or ये बुझ्यो. Alright, अब b1 by b2. Okay, यहाँबाट हेरौँ. b1 by b2 is equals to sin I by sin R. Sin I by sin R is greater than 1 बुझ्यो, or sin I is greater than sin R बुझ्यो, or operating with sin inverse on both sides हामीले के बुझ्छ, के पाउँछ, I is greater than R बुझ्छ. Okay, that is angle of incidence is greater than angle of refraction बुझ्छ नि त. Okay, so त्यसको म डायग्राम बताउँदैछु with a diagram. So here you have a ray of light. Okay, this is angle of incidence and this is normal. So यताबाट जानु पर्ने हो. Now this angle is equal to this angle. They are vertically opposite angle. यो angle र यो angle चाहिँ same हो. But if a ray of light travels from medium 1 to medium 2 such that the condition is medium 2 is denser than medium 1, त्यसो भए angle of refraction चाहिँ angle of incidence भन्दा सानो हुने रहेछ. So यो चाहिँ उता हैन, त्यसो भए यो चाहिँ कताबाट बेन्ड हुनु पर्यो, यता गयो भन्दा ठुलो हुन्छ एंगल अफ रिफ्र्याक्सन. सो यता बेन्ड भयो भने चाहिँ नर्मलसित जुन चाहिँ रे अफ लाइट छ यो चाहिँ के हुन्छ, यो भयो एंगल अफ रिफ्र्याक्सनको भ्यालु. ओके, म्याग्निट्युड. दिस इज द एंगल अफ रिफ्र्याक्सन. सो यो चाहिँ यो सिधा बाटो जुन चाहिँ छ त्यो भन्दा टुवर्ड्स द नर्मलै बङ्गिनु पर्यो. सो यता बङ्गिँदाखेरि एनी भ्याल्युज यो यता बङ्गियो भने चाहिँ सपोज रे अफ लाइट चाहिँ टुवर्ड्स द नर्मल आयो भने चाहिँ एनी भ्याल्यु अफ द एंगल अफ रिफ्र्याक्सन it will be less than the angle of incidence. किन भन्दाखेरि यो एंगलमा चाहिँ यति बेला चाहिँ बराबर छ, अलिकति यता आयो भने सानो भइहाल्यो. सो एंगल अफ रिफ्र्याक्सन इज स्मलर देन एंगल अफ इन्सिडेन्स. सो हामीले यो चाहिँ यो केसमा आयो. द्याट मिन्स इफ अ रे अफ लाइट ट्राभल्स फ्रम रेयर इन्टु mu1 छ, mu2 छ. सो इफ इट ट्राभल्स फ्रम अप्टिकली mu2 इज अप्टिकली डेन्सर भनेको छ. सो द्याट मिन्स फ्रम रेयर टु डेन्सर मिडियममा गयो भने चाहिँ के हुँदो रहेछ, a ray of light will bend towards the normal. यो रिजल्ट को अनुसार के भन्छ, it will bend towards the normal. सो हामीले यहाँ लेख्छ So हामीले यो रिजल्ट पायो. If a ray of light will travel from medium 1 to medium 2 in such that the condition is medium 1 is rarer than medium 2, then it will, or the ray of light will bend towards the normal by this mathematical relation. So यो पनि हामीले पायो कि if that is optically denser and rarer, so by this relation हामीले पाइसकेको छ speed of light in medium 1, that is optically rarer medium मा धेरै छ denser medium मा. सो यो पनि एउटा हामीले रिजल्ट पाएको छ. बट यो डायग्रामको लागि चाहिँ यो रिजल्ट नगइ नै हामीले योबाट हामीले यो रिजल्ट पाउँछौँ. सो दिस इज केस नम्बर 1. नाउ सिमिलरली फर केस नम्बर 2 हेरौँ. इफ अ रे अफ लाइट ट्राभल्स फ्रम medium 2 is optically rarer then medium 1 अरे. That means medium 1 र medium 2 मा हामीले यो कन्डिसन हेर्नु पर्यो. medium 1 is denser than medium 2. medium 1 is denser than medium 2. So medium 2 is optically rarer than medium 1. So त्यसको लागि हो भने चाहिँ हामीले यहाँ हेर्नु पर्यो अगेन यो केसमा ओके medium 2 okay then therefore हामीले यहाँ लेख्छ if medium 2 is rarer than medium 1. So medium 1 is optically denser than medium 2, then you have this equalities, your symbol change will be less than 1, mu 2 by mu 1 will be less than 1, or हामीले के पाउँछ mu 2 1 will be less than 1. So this is mu 2 1 is equals to velocity of light medium 1 upon velocity of light medium 2 will be less than 1, or हामीले के पायो v1 will be less than v2. That means the speed of light in medium 2 will be greater. That medium 2 optically rarer छ भनेर हामीले त्यो भनिसकेको छ. So त्यो result पायो. Now यहाँबाट if you move on हामीले v1 by v2 according to this relation is sin I by sin r. So sin I by sin r will also be less than 1. Alright, so if this is less than 1, then what you get, this will be inequality sign you change हुन्छ. So that means you operating with sin inverse on both sides, हामीले angle of refraction will be more than angle of incidence. That means if I want to represent this with a diagram, this is angle of incidence, and the angle between refracted ray and the normal is the angle of refraction. अब के हेर्नु पर्यो. So this is the ray of light projected. Okay, this is the path that the ray of light is supposed to move on if there is no change in medium. सीधा जानु पर्ने. Now भन्दैछ medium change भएकोले it has to go either towards the normal, it has to bend towards the normal or away from the normal, but cannot move on a straight line. So त्यसको लागि चाहिँ एंगल अफ रिफ्र्याक्सन ठुलो हुनुपर्छ अरे यो कन्डिसनमा. यो डेन्सर र रेयर भयो भने चाहिँ दैट मीन्स ठुलो हुनुको लागि चाहिँ देयर इज ओन्ली वन अप्सन दैट दिस रिफ्र्याक्टेड रे हैज. त्यो चाहिँ के हो भन्दाखेरि इट हैज टु मुभ अवे. उता गयो भने चाहिँ एनी एंगल मेजर्ड विथ द नर्मल, ओके, बिट्विन नर्मल एन्ड द रिफ्र्याक्टेड रे अलिकति उता गयो भने चाहिँ दैट विल बी मोर देन द एंगल अफ इन्सिडेन्स. अहिले चाहिँ यो डट 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 लाइन जुन चाहिँ छ यो र यो चाहिँ सेम छ. ओके, सो मैले यसलाई यो एंगल बनाएँ. दिस इज द रिफ्र्याक्टेड रे. सो दिस इज द एंगल बिट्विन रिफ्र्याक्टेड रे एन्ड द normal. So this angle of refraction. So angle of refraction ज्यादा भयो. So this is the diagram. So optically dense medium देखि optically rare or medium मा आउँदाखेरि ray of light को behavior कस्तो हुँदो रहेछ. The ray will bend not towards the normal. Normal पट्टि यो तानिँदैन or bend हुँदैन. It will bend away from the normal. So these are the two results that we have come across. Again we can have one more result. Okay, this is result number 3. If the two refractive index, okay, values of refractive index of the two media are same, so you र यो same अरे mu1 and mu2 are same. यो भन्नाले के बुझ्छ, the two media in which the ray of light is traveling is same. Okay, though यिनीहरु डिफरेन्ट हुन सक्छ. ओके, फिजिकली यिनीहरुको डेन्सिटी, फिजिकल डेन्सिटी डिफरेन्ट हुन सक्छ, तर यस्तो खालके सिचुएसन आएर कि यिनीहरुको त्यो फिजिकल क्वालिटिज जति पनि छ सबै चेन्ज हुँदा पनि लाइटको लागि, ओके, फर लाइटको लागि मात्रै हामीले हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ लाइटलाई के भयो अरे, लाइटलाई एउटा मिडियममा जुन चाहिँ स्पिडमा जाँदैछ अर्को मिडियममा पनि त्यही स्पिडमा लाइट कुद्नु सक्यो भने चाहिँ लाइटको लागि त त्यो फिजिकल डेन्सिटी अरु डेन्सिटीहरुको केही मिनिङै रहेन. लाइटले त्यो कुराहरु हेरिरादैन. लाइटले यो मात्रै हेर्छ कि यसको स्पिड चाहिँ स्लो हुँदैछ कि फास्ट हुँदैछ कि यसको स्पिड चेन्ज भएको छ कि छैन. सो यदि चेन्ज भएन भने त लाइटको लागि त दुईवटै मिडियम, ओके, यिनीहरुको फिजिकल अरु क्वालिटिज फिजिकल क्वालिटिज डिफ्रेन्ट भयो भने पनि इट डजन्ट म्याटर अरू केमिकल क्वालिटिज डिफ्रेन्ट भयो भने डजन्ट म्याटर एउटै कुरो मात्रै हो लाइटको लागि कि लाइट मस्ट मेन्टेन सेम स्पिड इन बोथ मिडिया इफ इट इज एबल टु डु द्याट देन यो लाइटको लागि दुईवटा मिडियामा केही डिफ्रेन्सै आउँदैन लाइटले दुईवटा मिडियमलाई एउटै खालको मिडियम भनेर गनिन्छ because light will move with a constant or with the same speed in both media. So if that is the condition, that is the case, then here medium 1 is not enough. Medium 1, medium 2 and medium 1 are optically same media, optically same media. Then you get this situation mu 2 1 okay mu 1 mu 2 is equals to mu 1 so mu 2 by mu 1 is equals to 1 bhayo mu 2 1 is equals to 1 bhayo okay now यो दुईटाको मिडियम सेम भयो भने अलराइट सो v1 by v2 is equals to 1 or is equals v1 is equals to v2 आयो now straight away moving from this हामीले एउटा यो यहाँबाट अर्को हामीले यहाँबाट अर्कै हामीले एउटा एक्सप्रेसन रिलेसन निकाल्नु आँटेको छ सो वी मुभिङ फ्रम हियर यतापट्टि यहाँबाट चाहिँ यता गयो सो sin i is equals to sin r or के आउँदैछ यहाँनिर operating in the same way you give I is equals to r that means एंगल अफ इन्सिडेन्स र एंगल अफ रिफ्र्याक्सन के हुँदो रहेछ सेम हुँदो रहेछ भनेर भन्दैछ यो म्याथमेटिकल रिजल्टले ओके सो द्याट मिन्स इफ अ रे अफ लाइट मुभ्स इट विल कन्टिन्यू टु मुभ इन द सेम लाइन ओके एज इफ देयर इज नो चेन्ज इन द मिडियम एन्ड देयर इज नो इन्टरफेस है यो सर्फेसले पनि दुईटालाई केही डिफ्रेन्सिएट चाहिँ गरेको छैन सो अन्डर दिस कन्डिसन भर्टिकली अपोजिट एंगल जस्ट हुन्छ यो इट इज पोसिबल ओन्ली इफ दिस इज अ स्ट्रेट लाइन So in spite of the change in the medium, the light will continue to move in the same straight projected line. That means for a ray of light, यो दुईटै media चाहिँ same भयो. So under that condition, I is equals to R. So optically denser हैन, optically rarer हैन. So if a ray of light moves from one to another medium, such that both the medium, such that in both the mediums, light can maintain the same speed. और हामीले यो भन्न सक्छौँ कि दुईवटा मिडियम चाहिँ एउटै मिडियम अरे वाटर वाटर ग्लास ग्लास ओके अन्डर द्याट कन्डिसन देयर विल बी नो चेन्ज इन द डाइरेक्सन अफ ए or there will be no bending or there will be no change in the direction of a ray of light. So यो condition मा there will be no refraction. Okay, refraction यो condition मा पनि हुँदैन. Now refraction अर्को condition मा पनि हुँदैन. Okay, कति बेला भन्दाखेरि हामीले excuse me हामीले त्यो पनि हेर्छ अब. There is one more condition under which there will be no refraction. So by Snell's law, mu2 by mu1 is equals to sin I by sin R. Okay. Suppose this is medium 1 with absolute refractive index mu1 and this another medium with absolute refractive index mu2. This is the angle of incidence and the corresponding value of angle of refraction. Now if the value if the angle of incidence decreases okay यहाँ भयो अरे. So if this is the angle of incidence I dash another value, okay, this is I dash, then I dash is less than I. Similarly your value of R will also change. How it will change भन्दाखेरि हामीलाई यो इक्वेसनले भन्छ R को भ्यालु पनि यस्तो चेन्ज हुन्छ कि sin I by sin R गर्दाखेरि you will get the same value of absolute refractive index. It will remain as it is. So R का value will also change. Okay, this is what you have. Now दुईटा त suppose दुईटाको medium चाहिँ एउटा हैन अरे. This is glass, this is air. Okay, and let us say we assume we take one thing for granted. We take mu1 is not equals to mu2. The two media are optically different. So a ray of light will travel with different speeds in this media. ओके एन्ड हामीले एउटा काम गर्दैछ भ्याल्यु अफ एंगल अफ इन्सिडेन्स चाहिँ अलिक घटाइदिँदैछ दिस इज द एंगल अफ इन्सिडेन्स एन्ड दिस इज द एंगल अफ इन्सिडेन्स सो एंगल अफ इन्सिडेन्स चाहिँ के हुँदैछ यो दुईटा बिचको एंगल अफ इन्सिडेन्स चाहिँ घट्दै जाँदैछ अकर्डिङली यो एंगल अफ रिफ्र्याक्सन विल अल्सो चेन्ज इट्स भ्याल्यु नाउ इफ यु टेक ओके sin I is equals to mu 2 1 sin R. Okay, we take this for granted. Okay, हामीले यो assume गरेको mu 1 and mu 2 are not same. That means mu 2 1 cannot be 0. 1 हुन सक्छ तर यो चाहिँ 0 हुनु सक्दैन किन भन्दाखेरि दुईटाको सर्टन भ्याल्युज छ which is not equals to 0 1 or 1 भन्दा कम्ती or 1 भन्दा धेरै हुन सक्छ mu 1 र mu 2 को भ्याल्यु नाउ एन्ड त्यो हो भने mu 2 by mu 1 को रेशियो लियो भने mu 2 1 is mu 2 by mu 1 so mu 2 by mu 1 को रेशियो लियो भने त क्यान नट बी इक्वल्स टु 0 इट विल नेभर बी इक्वल टु 0 1 or more than 1 or less than 1 हुन सक्छ इट क्यान टेक अल अदर भ्याल्युज एक्सेप्ट 0 देन हामीले यो पाउँदैछ रिजल्ट नाउ इफ आई टेक I is equals to 0 angle of incidence is equals to 0 then के पाउँछ sin I is equals to sin 0 degree then this is equals to 0 भयो therefore you apply this here यो रिजल्टमा so mu 2 1 sin R is also equals to 0 but we have already assumed mu 2 is not equals to 0 mu 1 is also not equals to 0 they have some values so हामीले के लेख्न सक्छ but mu 2 1 is not equals to 0 त्यसो भए यो रिलेसन sin I by sin R is equals to mu 2 1 त always true हो so this is equals to 0 त लेख्नै पर्यो that is angle of refraction को भ्यालु कति बेला ट्रू हुन्छ sin R को भ्यालु कति बेला ट्रू हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि angle of refraction को भ्यालु पनि 0 डिग्री भयो भने चाहिँ this statement will be true and this statement has to be true because Snail's law is true. Okay, mu 2 1 is not equals to 0 because we have already assumed this. त्यसो भए हामीले यो रिजल्ट पायौं. If angle of incidence is 0, angle of refraction is also 0. So यो घट्दै आउँदैछ. Okay, झन् सानो हुँदैछ. Alright. So यो अझै यता आयो भने झन् सानो हुन्छ. यो अझै यता आयो भने यो एंगल भयो तिम्रो नर्मल र यसको बीचको I डबल ड्याश अरे. So I डबल ड्याश is less than I ड्याश is less than I. So यस्तो घट्दै जाँदैछ. So हामीले यस्तो कन्डिसन पाए रे when the ray of light okay this is the normal ON is the normal and the incident ray of light चाहिँ यो normal मा coincide भएको छ so it lies along the on the normal so त्यति बेला चाहिँ के हुन्छ angle of incidence will be 0 because angle of incident ray र normal को बीचको दुईटा एउटै लाइनमा छ भने यो दुईटा बीचको कुनै एंगल बनिएन दुईटा बीचमा सो एंगल बिट्विन incident ray and normal takes the value 0 त्यति बेला चाहिँ angle of incidence will be 0 हुन्छ त्यसो भए त्यति बेला भन्दैछ angle of refraction will also be 0 so this is the normal on other side of the interface xy is the surface separating two media 1 and 2 this is medium 1 and this is medium 2 so अर्को medium मा पनि you continue with the same normal okay यो normal भयो surface त यो surface त यो normal भयो so त्यति बेला angle of refraction यो हो भने okay angle of refraction यो हो भने चाहिँ this is the angle between refracted ray and normal this is angle of refraction so our result mathematical result says that angle of refraction is also 0 so it takes the value 0 त्यो यति बेला पोसिबल हुन्छ जब चाहिँ यो normal मै on the normal नै यो बसेको हुन्छ so it travels straight okay so a ray of light incident normally on the surface also travels normally on other side of the medium that means it will go straight without any deviation okay so that means यति बेला पनि कुनै change in the path of a ray of light occurs there is no deviation in the path of ray of light that means no refraction takes place here so refraction doesn't takes place under this condition. Okay, when medium 1 and medium 2 are same, refraction does not occur. There is no change in the path of light. Now we will move on with another topic, important and interesting topic. Okay, and that is standard notation because those are the notation that is preferred by most of the authors, and also those are standard notations. Questions तिर पनि हामीले त्यसको significance त्यही हुन्छ र चाहिँ म त्यही बनाउँदै छु. So this is a prism. A simple equilateral prism. Alright, same angle. So this is your angle of the prism A भयो यो, this end B and this end C. So a ray of light is incident normally with some incident on this refracting face AB, making some angle of incidence. Okay, यो भयो I, and it will continue. यो normal यता continue हुन्छ. This is normal, यता पनि normal हुन्छ. यो angle पनि 90 degree हुन्छ because this is a straight line. So this is also has to be 90 degree. So this is your normal N1. Okay, and यताबाट यो instead of moving in this straight line, okay, यताबाट नगएर चाहिँ यो, since this is air and this is glass, okay, with a refractive index mu, okay, this is glass. So this is denser medium भयो. So glass ma light ko speed कम्ती हुन्छ, so it becomes the denser medium. So it will bend towards the normal पट्टि bend भयो, यता गएन. So यता नगएर towards the normal आयो. So यहाँदेखि यहाँसम्म it is traveling inside the prism. Okay, so inside the prism it travels on a straight line. एउटा medium भयो, medium change भयो, so it travels on a straight line. So यता जाँदैछ. So this is your angle of refraction. Alright, so again यहाँनिर I have to draw normal 90 degree. So यसलाई मैले continue गरेँ यो medium मा पनि. So this is N3 N1 N3. So दुईवटा normal चाहिँ एक जग्गा गएर भेट भयो रे. This is N2. Now it is re-entering air again, right? So first air ma some part of its journey यो केसमा छ inside the material of the prism cha, which is glass, and again ray of light re-enters air, right? So from denser to rarer medium. So यता जानु पर्ने हो, यो यता जानु पर्ने हो सिधा, तर instead of that this change in medium, so change in speed, so it will bend away from the normal. So अघि हामीले हेर्यो why it bends away from the normal भनेर है. So यो भयो it bends away from the normal. So यो भयो angle of refraction र यो चाहिँ normal भयो. This is angle of incidence. Now ray of light ले चाहिँ यस्तो छ, यदि हामीले यहाँनिर ऐनालाई perpendicular यहाँ ऐनालाई राखिदियो भने or perpendicular राखिदियो भने it will get reflected back in the same way. So यताबाट जान्छ र again medium दुईटाको medium same हो, again it will come back, okay, with the same making same angle of refraction. यताबाट आउँछ, so यता आउँछ र यहाँबाट जान्छ. So it can retrace its path. A ray of light can retrace its path. So यहाँ एकजना मान्छे छ, okay, this is यो मान्छेको नाम अरे अल्फा, okay, and यहाँ अर्को मान्छे छ, this is बीटा, okay. So बीटालाई अल्फाले देख्छ र सिमिलरली अल्फालाई पनि बीटाले देख्छ. So बीटाले अल्फालाई देखेको कारण चाहिँ यो हो, it will ray of light starting from alpha travels, okay, through the prism in this way and comes out and reaches beta. Similarly, beta बाट आएको ray travels through prism and comes out this way and reaches the eye of alpha. So alpha and beta, which are seated on the opposite side, on the two sides of the prism, can see each other. Because ray of light travels or retraces its path. Now त्यसो भए हामीले यसलाई angle of incidence just this अघि नै मैले भने these are standard notations used. So पछि हामीलाई क्वेशन्स तिर भयो अरुतिर पनि हामीलाई यही नोटेसन्सहरु हुन्छ र चाहिँ सजिलो पर्छ. ओके, वी क्यान युज अनदर नोटेसन दो, तर त्यसले चाहिँ ज्यादा कन्फ्युजन ल्याउँछ बिकज स्ट्यान्डर्ड चाहिँ यही चलाउँछ मोस्ट अफ द बुकमा. सो एंगल अफ इन्सिडेन्स, एंगल अफ रिफ्र्याक्सन फर रिफ्र्याक्सन अकरिङ एट द फेस एबी, and this is angle of incidence and angle of refraction for the ray of light which is undergoing refraction at the face AC. यो दुईटा भयो है. Now ray of light चाहिँ यसरी जाने हो यहाँबाट straight initially. Okay, originally चाहिँ यसको यो if in the absence if this prism was not present, है, in the absence of this prism भनेको ray of light यो पोइन्टबाट सिधा जाने यसरी, तर प्रिजमले यसरी यसलाई यता बङ्गायो त्यसपछि यता बङ्गायो. सो वी क्यान सी रे अफ लाइटलाई पहिला प्रिजमले अलिकति ओह्रालो झार्छ टुवर्ड्स द प्रिजम, अगेन यहाँ अवे फ्रम द नर्मल भएको कारणले गर्दाखेरि यतै गयो. सो अ रे अफ लाइट विल प्रिजम विल बेन्ड अ रे अफ लाइट टुवर्ड्स इट्स बेसपट्टि हामीले झार्छ भनेर यो पनि यहाँबाट बुझ्न सकिन्छ. प्रोभाइडेड दिस मिडियम इज रेयर मिडियम एन्ड दिस मिडियम इज डेन्सर मिडियम. यो चाहिँ अप्टिकली डेन्सर हुनु पर्यो जुन चाहिँ मिडियममा राखेको छ हामीले प्रिजमलाई. ओके, प्रिजमलाई यहाँ राखेको छ, बाहिरको मिडियम जुन चाहिँ छ त्यो चाहिँ रेयर हुनु पर्यो. द्याट इज द कन्डिसन. सो द्याट मिन्स यो यसरी जाँदैछ, दिस इज द ओरिजिनल पाथ, यहाँबाट निक्लिँदैछ. ओके, सो यसरी जाँदा 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 यसो नगएर यो यतापट्टि जाँदैछ. सो कति बङ्गियो. ओके, द्याट इज द डेभिएसन. सो दिस इज द direction of a ray of light which has finally emerged, and this is the direction of a ray of light which is about to enter the prism. So on finally emerging out, how much has it deviated भन्दाखेरि it has deviated by this much angle. यता जाने हो तर यता जाँदैछ. सो this much is the deviation. यता जाने हो यताबाट जाँदैछ नि त, these are all straight lines produced. सो यताबाट जाने हो, सो यो भयो डेभिएसन. सो दिस इज यो डेभिएसन डेल्टा. सो हामीले यो डेभिएसनलाई हेर्छ कति छ भनेर. ओके, सो इन दिस ट्रायङ्गल, ओके, यो ट्रायङ्गलमा यो चाहिँ भयो यो चाहिँ भयो. ओके, यो हामीले यस्तो गऱ्यौँ, यहाँबाट आउँदैछ यो भयो एन्ड यो भयो. ओके, एन्ड यो एङ्गल कति हो भनेर भन्दैछ, दिस इज डेल्टा. Okay, so there is a theorem in geometry. Okay, के छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ यो एक्सटिरियर एङ्गल इज यो भयो इन्टिरियर एङ्गल, यो पनि भयो इन्टिरियर एङ्गल, तर अपोजिट भन्दैन, यो भन्दा यसको अपोजिट. सो अपोजिट इन्टिरियर एङ्गलको सम चाहिँ यो हुन्छ अरे. ओके, सो हियर हामीले इन्टिरियर एङ्गल इज दिस वान एन्ड इन्टिरियर एङ्गल इज दिस वान. ओके, सो यो सिधा लाइन हो. ओके, यो सिधा लाइन हो. सो दिस I1 भयो भने यो पनि कति हुनुपर्ने, I1 हुनुपर्ने हो. तर यहाँ चाहिँ अलरेडी कति छ, यो R1 छ. सो यो एङ्गल चाहिँ कति हुन्छ अरे, I1 हो. ओके, I1 यहाँ कति छ, R1 छ. माइनस R1 गऱ्यो भने चाहिँ यो सानो एङ्गल पायो. सो सिमिलरली यहाँबाट यस्तो आउँदैछ, यो स्ट्रेट लाइन हो, यो पनि स्ट्रेट लाइन हो. सो I2 भयो भने यो I2 र यो स्ट्रेट डल्लै I2 हो. तर यो I2 मा यो R2 घटायो भने चाहिँ हामीले सानो एङ्गल पाउँछ, I2 माइनस R2. राइट, सो हामीले यो हेर्दैछौँ. सो फर दिस अल्सो डेल्टा इज इक्वल्स टु I1 माइनस R1 यो प्लस I2 माइनस R2. दिस इज according to the theory of geometry. के भन्छ भन्दाखेरि एक्सटर्नल एङ्गल इज इक्वल्स टु सम अफ अपोजिट इन्टिरियर एङ्गल. एन्ड यो एउटा सानोको लागि एउटाको लागि देखाइदिउँ. दिस इज I1 एन्ड यो डल्लै भयो, यो डल्लै चाहिँ कति भयो, I1 नै भयो एज पर जियोमेट्री. यो भयो भर्टिकली अपोजिट एङ्गल. र यहाँबाट एउटा लाइन यता गएको छ एन्ड दिस इज अलरेडी R1 हामीले एङ्गल अफ रिफ्र्याक्सन हो. जो यो एंगल कति भन्दाखेरि I1 माइनस R भने डल्लै I1 माइनस यो स्मल एंगल R1 गरे भने चाहिँ I1 माइनस R1 हुन्छ सो यो एंगल है इन्टिरियर एंगल एउटाको भ्यालु चाहिँ I1 माइनस R1 सिमिलरली यसको भ्यालु इज I2 माइनस R2 दिस इज आवर deviation produced so कति चाहिँ deviation हुन्छ एंगल ले दिस इज दिस वन सो I1 माइनस R1 प्लस I2 माइनस R2 this is equals to I1 plus I2 minus R1 minus R2 so R1 plus R2 लेखिया this is equation number 1 now यसमा यो सानो ट्रायंगलमा स्मल ट्रायंगलमा यहाँ हेर्दैछ हामीले okay this is N2 this is I1 minus R1 this is I2 minus R2 and यो एंगल कति हो we don't know अब त्यसको लागि चाहिँ हेरौं यो सबै जोड्दाखेरि चाहिँ 180 डिग्री हुनुपर्छ अकॉर्डिंग टु थ्योरम अफ इन ज्योमेट्री that sum of angles of the triangle is equal to two right angles हो एउटा right angle is 180 degree so दुईवटा right angle is 180 degree so that means हामीले डाइरेक्ट त्यो हामीले अप्लाई गर्छ ओके we know यो भयो ए सरी यो this is not I1 okay this is R1 हुन्छ यो चाहिँ भयो R2 so यो एंगल यो ट्रायंगलमा चाहिँ यो एंगल प्लस यो एंगल गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ कति हुन्छ रे 180 डिग्री हुनुपर्ने हो दैट इज अकॉर्डिंग टु a theorem in geometry which says the sum of the three angles of a triangle is equals to two right angle एउटा right angle is 90 degree दुईवटा right angle is 180 degree so you have R1 plus R2 plus angle N okay angle N2 okay angle N2 is equals to 180 degree so R1 angle N2 is equals to 180 degree minus R1 minus R2 again यसमा कमन निक्ल्यो भने माइनस यस्तो हुन्छ दिस इज इक्वेसन नम्बर 2 भयो नाउ अगेन हामीले एउटा क्वाड्रिल्याटरल हेर्छ यहाँनिर ए यो पोइन्ट यहाँ यो पोइन्ट यहाँ एन्ड यो पनि चारवटा पोइन्ट लिएर क्वाड्रिल्याटरल हेर्छ राइट दिस इज इन्टु यो भयो ए दिस इज एंगल अफ द प्रिजम ए सो यो पोइन्ट यहाँनिर चाहिँ के छ यो 90 डिग्री बनाएको छ बिकज दिस इज नर्मल हैन यहाँनिर 90 डिग्री बनाएको छ बिकज दिस इज नर्मल सो यो पनि कति हुन्छ 90 डिग्री यो के भयो यो फेस चाहिँ के छ स्ट्रेट लाइन हो सो यता 90 डिग्री दिस इज द नर्मल सो यता पनि कति हुन्छ 90 डिग्री हुन्छ सो सिमिलरली यो फेस यता कन्टिन्यू भएको यता फेस हो यो स्ट्रेट लाइन हो सो यो नर्मल हो सो यता पनि कति हुन्छ यता 90 डिग्री नै हुन्छ यता पनि सो यो भयो नाउ इन्टिरियर एंगलहरु यो त क्वाड्रिल्याटरल भयो है चारवटा साइड भएको सो यो एंगल यो एंगल यो एंगल र यो एंगल अल अफ देम आर इन्टिरियर एंगल सो इन्टिरियर एंगल जोड्दाखेरि चाहिँ 360 डिग्री हुनुपर्छ क्वाड्रिल्याटरलमा ओके सो हामीले हेर्दैछ अगेन ओके यसमा हामीले हेर्दैछ एंगल अफ द प्रिजम ए यसलाई एंगल ए लेखिदिन्छ एंगल अफ द प्रिजम ए प्लस यो भयो 90 डिग्री यो पनि भयो 90 डिग्री र यो पनि भयो एंगल N2 सो यो सबै जोड्दाखेरि चाहिँ 360 डिग्री हुन्छ और एंगल A प्लस एंगल N2 ओके यो एंगल N2 र एंगल A प्लस यो भयो 180 डिग्री इज इक्वल्स टु 360 डिग्री माइनस 180 डिग्री दुईटा जोडेर हामीले उता पनि लगिहाल्यो सो एंगल A और यसो गरौँ यो भयो 180 डिग्री है 360 माइनस यो इज 180 डिग्री सो एंगल N2 एंगल N2 is equals to 180 degree minus A भयो alright now हामीले त्यसो भए यहाँनिर replacing angle into in our equation number 2 हामीले के पाउँछ त्यसो भए एंगल n2 को बदली चाहिँ यो हाल्छ 180 डिग्री माइनस एंगल अफ द प्रिजम हो कि एंगल अफ द प्रिजम लाई a मात्रै रिप्रेजेन्ट गरे यसलाई यो एंगल हटाइदिएर सो एंगल n2 इज इक्वल्स टु एंगल n2 को बदली चाहिँ 180 माइनस a यहाँबाट चलाइदिए एन्ड इज इक्वल्स टु 180 डिग्री माइनस r1 प्लस r2 भयो नाउ 180 and 180 है उता क्यान्सल भयो सो माइनस a इज इक्वल्स टु माइनस r1 प्लस r2 भयो सो माइनस माइनस क्यान्सल सो एंगल अफ द प्रिजम इज r1 प्लस r2 भयो देयरफोर हामीले डेभिएसन produced by the prism in some known quantities are I1 plus I2 minus R1 plus R2. So R1 plus R2 is A. Okay. So दुईटा भेरिएबललाई चाहिँ हामीले घटाएर एउटा मात्रै लियो किन भन्दाखेरि यो दुईवटा R1 र R2 are variables whose value depends on I1 and I2. So I1 and I2 लाई चाहिँ हामीले निकाल्न सक्यो भने डेभिएसन निकाल्न सक्ने रहेछ बिकज एंगल अफ द प्रिजम चाहिँ हामीले वी क्यान इजिली मेजर यो चेन्ज पनि हुने हैन फर ए पर्टिकुलर प्रिजम इज गोइङ टु रिमेन सेम सो ए इज अ कन्स्टेन्ट सो यो भयो I1 and I2 delta deviation produces I1 plus I2 minus A. Okay, thank you.
Okay, hello dear students, my name is Miss Anglina and I'm from Nepali Girls Higher Secondary School. I'm here to teach you all sociology. So let's begin with the chapter 2, that is you all can see out here I've written the name of the chapter, Indian Society, Structure and Process. So यो chapter को आज हामीले कुन चाहिँ पाठ गर्छौं भन्दाखेरि if you all see it in your book, you all can see that is 2.3 self-sufficient village society. Before reading this, before moving on to this topic, self-sufficient village society, I hope you all can see this. I've written few points out here. Please do not focus on these points. Your points are focus na garera. पहिला म तिमीहरुलाई self-sufficient village society छ. त you start गर्नु अगाडि what does the word village mean? यो भन्छु ल. I hope everybody knows village भनेको गाउँ हो. Village भन्ने बित्तिकै गाउँ भन्छ. But what in sociology, how do you explain village? Village भनेको चाहिँ के हो भन्दाखेरि whenever the word village comes, always remember that village is a small area. Small area. So village भन्ने बित्तिकै excuse me, village भन्ने बित्तिकै के भन्छ भन्दाखेरि हामीले गाउँ भन्छ. But whenever like if anybody asks you all village भनेको के हो भन्दाखेरि I don't think so you all will be able to give the definition of village properly. So when we deal this term in sociology, village भन्ने बित्तिकै के भन्नुपर्छ, it consists of small area, at least 10 to 15 houses. When you see in a particular geographical area 10 वटा देखि 15 वटा जति घर हुन्छ त्यसलाई के भनिन्छ village भनिन्छ. And what do you see in that village? The distinctive feature of that village is small area. त्यहाँ चाहिँ small area हुन्छ. अनि अर्को के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि distinctiveness भन्ने हुन्छ. Distinctiveness भन्ने हुन्छ because it is not like the city area. यो चाहिँ के हुन्छ city area जस्तो हुँदैन. village भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ एउटा सानो गाउँ हुन्छ अनि त्यहाँ चाहिँ क्लियर हुन्छ what they want, what they need. उनीहरुको गाउँ कस्तो खालके हुन्छ, उनीहरुलाई के चाहिन्छ, त्यो गाउँमा के प्रोड्युस हुन्छ, that is very much clear. So therefore it is known as village. अनि whenever the word village comes, जब पनि यो village भन्ने शब्द आउँछ, what you all have to remember is the term village in sociology was propounded. This term was propounded by Sir Charles Metcalfe. So, the very much three important things, what you have to keep in your mind is when the term village आउँछ, जब गाउँ village भनेर आउँछ, small area, distinctiveness, and the term village was propounded by Sir Charles Metcalfe. यो मान्छेले चाहिँ के गरेको थियो, यो टर्मलाई निकालेको थियो अनि यो टर्म चाहिँ कुन चाहिँ इयरमा निकालेको थियो, 1830 मा निकालेको थियो. So village भन्नाले another word for village is also, we can call it as rural area. Whenever the word village comes, always remember it is a rural area, it is small area, it has small area, and it is distinctive. And this theory of village was propounded by Sir Charles Metcalfe in the year 1830. I hope this is clear. So, after village, let's see what is self-sufficient society, village society. Self-sufficient village society भन्नाले चाहिँ के बुझिन्छ त? त्यसमा पनि let's focus on the word self-sufficient. Self-sufficient भनेको चाहिँ के हो भन्दाखेरि भरिपूर्णता, भरिपूर्ण भएको. Now, जब म भरिपूर्ण हुन्छु, suppose think I am a student like you all. म भरिपूर्ण छु, म पढाइमा राम्रो छु, खेलकुदमा राम्रो छु भने म के हुन्छु, म कोहीसँग लिंक राख्दिन नि क्लासमा. Why? Because I'm good in my studies. म सबै कुरामा भरिपूर्ण छु. I have good habits. I study well. I come with a good grade in the class. त्यसकारण के हुन्छु, मेरोमा म self sufficient हुन्छु. केले? Good habits ले. त्यसरी नै the word self sufficient means भरिपूर्ण. अनि what does this mean? Self sufficient village society. Now भरिपूर्ण भएको के हो? Rural area. भरिपूर्ण भएको गाउँ हो. Okay? And एउटा गाउँ कहिले भरिपूर्ण हुन्छ? Now see, when does a village society become self-sufficient? That is when the village produces almost all of the things by itself and then consumes, and the people of that particular village consumes everything whatever is produced in the village by themselves. Okay, so let's see the point. Self-sufficient village society चाहिँ यसको एउटा मेन कुरा चाहिँ के हो भन्दाखेरि unit of production as well as consumption, which means के हुन्छ, self-sufficient village जुन चाहिँ self-sufficient गाउँ छ त्यहाँ चाहिँ के हुन्छ, अन्नहरू जति पनि अन्नहरू छ त्यहाँनिर के हुन्छ, आफै त्यहाँको फार्मर्सहरू, त्यहाँको मान्छेहरूले आफै उनीहरूले उब्जाउँछ. बुझ्यो कि बुझेन? उब्जाको बादमा चाहिँ के गर्छ, उनीहरूले कन्ज्युम पनि त्यही गाउँमै हुन्छ, उनीहरूले कहीँ बाहिर लगेर किनबेच गर्नु पर्दैन. So that is the point when a village becomes self-sufficient, and therefore it is known as self-sufficient village society. Okay, moving on to another point, less interference from the outside world. Very much obvious. It is very much obvious. Why? Because whenever a village, यदि एउटा गाउँ self-sufficient छ अरे, एउटा गाउँ self-sufficient छ भने मानिलियो हामी यो दार्जिलिङ डिस्ट्रिक्टको दार्जिलिङ टाउन एरियाको कुनै एउटा गाउँ लिउँ है. सपोज माना तुङसुङ कमानहरू, कुनै कमानहरू छ अरे, एन्ड त्यो कमानमा चाहिँ यदि त्यो गाउँमा सबै त्यहीँनिर प्रड्युस हुन्छ, त्यहाँको मान्छेहरू हार्ड वर्किङ छ, उनीहरू आफै उत्पन्न गर्छ, त्यहाँनिर खाने पिउने सामानहरू, लगाउने सबै बनाउने चिजहरू त्यहीँनिर हामी भेटाउँछौँ, कब्लर्सदेखि लिएर ट्रेडर्स हामी सबै त्यहाँ भेटाउँछौँ अरे. अनि त्यहाँनिर उब्जाउ भएको चिज त अभियसली के गर्छ, त्यहीको मान्छेले कन्ज्युम गर्छ नि त, त्यो गाउँको मान्छेले. अनि त्यस्तो हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ के हुन्छ, त्यो इट इज एट द्याट पोइन्ट हामीले त्यति बेला भन्नु सक्छौँ त्यो कमान चाहिँ के हो, एउटा सेल्फ सफिसियन्ट भिलेज हो भनेर भन्नु सक्छौँ. किनकि त्यहाँनिर चाहिँ के गर्छ, प्रोडक्सन पनि त्यही गाउँमा हुन्छ, कन्ज्युम पनि त्यही गाउँको मान्छेले गर्छ. बुझ्यो कि बुझेन? अनि जब पनि एउटा गाउँ, एउटा सोसाइटी जब पनि यो स्टेजमा पुग्छ, सेल्फ सफिसियन्ट स्टेजमा पुग्छ, त्यति बेला के हुन्छ, अभियसली उनीहरू के गर्छ, बाहिरको दुनियाँसँग इन्टरफेयर गर्दैन बेसी. उनीहरू के गर्छ, इन्टरफेयर इन द सेन्स उनीहरू हेमखेम लगाउ बेसी हुँदैन, उनीहरूको एकदमै कम्ती मात्रामा हुन्छ. किन हाम्रो गाउँमै सबै कुरा पाइहाल्छ, बाहिर जानु किन भन्ने हुन्छ. बुझ्यो कि बुझेन? सो सेल्फ सफिसियन्ट भिलेज सोसाइटी भन्नाले चाहिँ के हो, प्रोडक्सन पनि त्यही गाउँमा हुन्छ अनि कन्जम्पसन पनि त्यही गाउँमा हुन्छ. देयरफोर we can see less interference of that village. We can see less interference from the outside world. त्यो self-sufficient village society भनेको. I hope the concept of village self-sufficient village society, otherwise what is self-sufficient village society, I hope this is very much clear and I have explained the term. And not to forget it, please remember whenever the term village comes, always remember it is known as rural area, and village is such a place that it has small area and it is distinctiveness. These are the two important things while defining a village. And always remember, I think this is very much I don't think, but I'm very much sure this is very much important point while writing in an examination also. Village भन्ने बित्तिकै के कुरा याद गर्नु? सर चार्ल्स मेटकेफे. सेल्फ सफिसिएन्ट विलेज सोसाइटी भन्ने बित्तिकै कसलाई याद गर्नु? सर चार्ल्स मेटकेफेलाई याद गर्नु. अन्त कुन चाहिँ इयर याद गर्नु? 1830, because he was the one to propound this theory of self sufficient village society. Okay, moving on to I hope now the first part that is what is village, what is self-sufficient village, that is clear to you all. And now moving on to its economy. What kind of economy was seen in Indian self-sufficient village? Indian self-sufficient village, it was there, and त्यो village चाहिँ कस्तो खालके थियो त? What was the scenario of that village? कस्तो खालके थियो भन्दाखेरि let's have a look. त्यहाँको economy कस्तो खालके थियो? Economy, the very first point is isolated. Self-sufficient Indian village चाहिँ के थियो भन्दाखेरि it was very much isolated, which means it didn't have, as in my earlier point also I discussed with you all, त्यो चाहिँ कस्तो खालके थियो भन्दाखेरि it was self-sufficient, भरपुरी थियो, अनि त्यही कारण बाहिरको दुनियासँग उनीहरुको कनेक्सन हुँदैन थियो. Why? Because everything they used to get it in their village. Therefore it was isolated. The village was very much isolated. उनीहरुको के थियो? उनीहरु एका अर्कासँग मात्रै, त्यो गाउँ भित्रको मान्छेहरु मात्रै उनीहरु कम्युनिकेट गर्थे एका अर्कासँग. बाहिरको जुन चाहिँ उनीहरुको मान्छेहरु छ उनीहरु त्योसँग त्यति साह्रो कम्युनिकेट नगरेको कारणले the village economy was bit isolated. That is the very first point. The economy of Indian of self-sufficient village. I'm so sorry, let me write out here. That is economy of that is economy of self-sufficient Indian village society was isolated. Now moving on to the second point, the economy of the village was based on simple division of labor. Now what is division of labor? Division of labor, I hope if you all remember, that is in class 11. हामीले Karl Marx को society पढ्दाखेरि पनि what did the Karl Marx say about the division of labor? Now division of labor हरु त्यहाँनिर पनि छ. Okay, so I don't think so this is a very much new term, the term division of labor, as you all are in class 12. Ani village was based, which village? Self-sufficient village was based on simple division of labor. That is division of labor भनेको चाहिँ के हो भन्दाखेरि श्रमिक वर्ग. त्यो villageमा श्रमिक वर्ग जुन चाहिँ the what you call it is like the occupant, I'm sorry, not occupation. Division of labor भन्नाले के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि त्यो गाउँमा what kind of people was constituted in that village. त्यो गाउँमा चाहिँ कस्तो खालके मान्छेहरु बस्थ्यो, कस्तो खालके occupation follow गर्ने खालके मान्छेहरु बस्थ्यो भन्दाखेरि division of labor. Okay, let me put it in this way. Division of labor in self-sufficient village was very much simple. साधारण थियो. किन भन्दाखेरि it was not highly mechanized society. Mechanized society भन्नाले के बुझिन्छ भन्दाखेरि it is a society, अहिलेको society. Like अहिले चाहिँ हामी के गर्छौं भन्दाखेरि most of the societies they are being highly advanced. अनि उनीहरुले चाहिँ के गर्छ भन्दाखेरि हामीले के गर्छौं, हामी टेक्नोलोजीमा निर्भर छौं नि त. That is why we are moving on towards a society which is very much highly specialized. We depend on technology. तर त्यो बेलाको society जुन चाहिँ सेल्फ सफिसियन्ट भिलेज थियो त्यसमा चाहिँ के थियो डिभिजन अफ लेबर वाज भेरी मच सिम्पल विच त्यहाँनिर के देखिन्थ्यो भन्दाखेरि फार्मर्सहरू देखिन्थ्यो पञ्चायत देखिन्थ्यो फार्मर्स वाट डु दे युज टु युज प्लाउ मेथड जुन चाहिँ के हुन्छ लाइक उनीहरूले भिलेजमा जुन चाहिँ एग्रिकल्चर छ त्यो कल्टिभेट गर्थ्यो लाइक उनीहरूले के गर्थ्यो उनीहरूले ल्यान्ड कल्टिभेसन सिस्टम फलो गर्थ्यो उनीहरूले त्यो जुन चाहिँ ल्यान्ड कल्टिभेसन छ त्यसमा पनि उनीहरूले सिम्पल मेथड युज गर्थ्यो उनीहरूले के गर्थ्यो जस्तो त्यो ट्र्याक्टरहरू ल्याएर हुन्छ त्यस्तो केही पनि चलाउँदैन थियो एकदम सिम्पल गाई गोरु ल्याएर हल जोताउने काम गर्थ्यो अनि त्यहाँनिर हेड अफ द भिलेज हु युज टु बी द हेड अफ द भिलेज द पञ्चायत युज टु बी द हेड अफ द भिलेज एन्ड देयर वर नर्मल पिपल हु युज टु फलो सिम्पल अकुपेसन्स द्याट इज वाइ इन सेल्फ सफिसियन्ट भिलेज न वाट यु क्यान पिक्चर हामीले सोच्दाखेरि यदि हामीले पिक्चर एउटा यसो हेरेको जस्तो गऱ्यौँ भने हामीले वाट वी क्यान फ्रेम इज एउटा सानो गाउँ एउटा राम्रो गाउँ जहाँनिर चाहिँ के छ टुल्सहरू हाइली मेकानाइज छैन टेक्नोलोजी इज भेरी मच फार इन सेल्फ सफिसियन्ट भिलेज जहाँनिर चाहिँ के छ उनीहरू बाहिरको दुनियाँसँग त्यति साह्रो हेमखेम छैन अनि त्यहाँनिर चाहिँ के छ आइम सरी त्यहाँ चाहिँ के छ फार्मर्सहरू छ मेन 94% अफ द पपुलेसन के छ फार्मर्सहरू छ उनीहरूले के गर्छ उनीहरूको जुन चाहिँ एग्रिकल्चरल सिस्टम छ उनीहरूले जुन चाहिँ खेतीपाती गर्छ त्यहाँनिर पनि उनीहरूले के चलाउँछ प्लाउ सिस्टम हल जोत गर्ने काम गर्छ त्यो छ एन्ड द हेड अफ द भिलेज युज टु बी द पञ्चायत लाइक फर इक्जाम्पल अहिलेको सोसाइटी अहिलेको समाजमा हेऱ्यो भने के हुन्छ लाइक इफ यु अल भायोलेट द लज हामीले कुनै ल भायोलेट गऱ्यौँ भने हामी कसकोमा जान्छौँ ल छ रुल्स एन्ड रेगुलेसन्स छ पुलिस छ ओके न तर त्यो टाइपको त्यो जुन चाहिँ सेल्फ सफिसियन्ट भिलेज छ द्याट वाज अ भेरी सिम्पल भिलेज जहाँनिर चाहिँ के थियो मान्छेहरू कसकोमा जान्थ्यो पञ्चायतकोमा जान्थ्यो आफ्नो केही डिस्प्युट हुँदाखेरि पनि सल्भ गर्नुको लागि ओके नाउ द्याट इज द सेकेन्ड पोइन्ट जुन चाहिँ के छ भिलेज वाज बेस्ड अन सिम्पल डिभिजन अफ लेबर मुभिङ अन टु द थर्ड पोइन्ट अकुपेसन वाइज के चाहिँ गर्थ्यो त अघि मैले भनिहालेँ त्यहाँनिर फार्मर्सहरू देख्थ्यो फार्मर्सहरू हुन्थ्यो पञ्चायतहरू हुन्थ्यो अपार्ट फ्रम फार्मर्सहरू चाहिँ बेसिक थियो एउटा हुन्छ नि कुनै सोसाइटीको एउटा बेसिक एग्रिकल्चर लाइक फर इक्जाम्पल इन्डिया हेर है इन्डिया पनि के हो इन्डिया इज वान अफ द एग्रिकल्चरल कन्ट्री इन्डियामा खासैमा भनौँ भन्दा एग्रिकल्चरल कन्ट्री हो जहाँनिर चाहिँ वी फाइन्ड फार्मर्स एउटा बेसिक हो नि त त्यो चाहिँ इन्डियाको बट तर इन्डियामा अहिले के भएको छ इन्डिया इज मुभिङ अन टुवर्ड्स इन्डिया इज प्रोग्रेसिङ डे बाई डे त्यसै कारण अहिले हामीले बेसी फार्मर्स देख्दैनौँ एन्ड देयरफोर इन टुडे वी क्यानट से द्याट इन्डिया इज एन एग्रिकल्चरल कन्ट्री भनेर भन्नु सक्दैन बिकज मोस्ट अफ देम हेज लेफ्ट देयर बेसिक अकुपेसन त्यसरी नै त्यहाँनिर पनि जुन चाहिँ बेसिक अकुपेसन थियो फार्मर्सको उनीहरूले के गरेको छ त्यो छोडेर अपार्ट फ्रम फार्मर्स उनीहरूले के अकुपेसन फलो गर्थे अरे देयर वर वीवर्स जो लुगा सिलाउने काम गर्छ टेलर्सहरू गोल्डस्मिथ जसले चाहिँ सुनको काम गर्छ what do you say सुनको काम गर्छ यस कब्लर्स ओल प्रेसर्स त्यस्तो खालकेहरू चाहिँ हुन्थ्यो एन्ड द मेन पोइन्ट टु रिमेम्बर इज अपार्ट फ्रम फार्मर्स मैले यहाँ लेखिदिएको छु वीवर्स जो लुगा सिलाउने काम गर्छ टेलर्स गोल्डस्मिथ जसले सुनको काम गर्छ कब्लर्स जसले जुत्ता बनाउने काम गर्छ एन्ड द मेन थिङ अकुपेसन वाइज वाट यु हेभ टु रिमेम्बर इन सेल्फ सफिसियन्ट भिलेज इज अकुपेसन चाहिँ यो मात्रै होइन तर उनीहरूको अकुपेसन चाहिँ के थियो हेरिडिटरी थियो हेरिडिटरी भनेको के हो लाइक फर इक्जाम्पल इफ यदि त्यो गाउँमा यु क्यान सी आउट हियर आइ एम मेकिङ द चार्ट आउट हियर लाइक फर इक्जाम्पल एउटा पुजारी छ अरे मन्दिरको पुजारी इफ अ सर्टन पर्सन इज अ प्रिस्ट देन त्यो प्रिस्टको छोराले कुन चाहिँ अकुपेसन फलो गर्नुपर्ने थियो even he was compelled to follow the occupation of his father जुन चाहिँ के हुन्छ ऊ पनि के हुन्छ priest a brahmin नै हुनुपर्ने थियो I would rather put it as the word Brahmin because in ancient times rather than this word was very much famous that is the word Brahmin चाहिँ के हुन्थ्यो यदि त्यो गाउँमा चाहिँ कसैको बाउ ब्राह्मण छ अरे, ऊ पण्डित हो, पुजारी हो, उसले गाउँको पूजाहरू गर्छ भने उसको छोरा जतिकै किन नपढेको होस्, एमए बिएड किन नहोस्, डक्टरेटै किन नहोस्, तर उसले कसको अकुपेसन फलो गर्नुपर्ने थियो, आफ्नो बाउको अकुपेसन फलो गर्नुपर्ने थियो। अनि जब त्यो छोराले बाउको अकुपेसन फलो गर्छ ऊ पनि के हुन्छ, ब्राह्मणै भनिदिन्छ उसलाई पनि। ओके, नाउ इफ अ सर्टन पर्सन वाज अ कब्लर अनि उसको छोरा जतिकै पढोस् त्यति बेला के हुन्थ्यो, ऊ पनि कब्लरै हुन्थ्यो। नाउ अनदर इक्जाम्पल इज द्याट एउटा मान्छेको छोरा सपोज ब्राह्मण अरे, ब्राह्मणले के गर्नुपर्छ, संस्कृत भाषा डल्लै पढ्नुपर्छ नि, हो कि होइन, बट उसको छोरालाई केही आउँदैन, सपोज संस्कृत आउँदैन, केही आउँदैन, बट स्टिल उसको छोरा के हुन्छ, ब्राह्मणै हुन्छ, बुझेको बुझेन। एन्ड द्याट अकुपेसन द्याट इज नोन एज हेरिडिटरी। नाउ द अकुपेसन वाइज, what occupation wise यदि हामीले सेल्फ सफिसिएन्ट भिलेजमा हेऱ्यौँ भने के छ, उनीहरूले के फलो गरेको छ, कुन सिस्टम, हेरिडिटरी सिस्टम फलो गरेको छ, विच वी डु नट फलो इन दिस मोडर्न सोसाइटी। मोडर्न सोसाइटीमा वी डु नट फलो। इफ माई फादर इज फलोइङ एनी अदर अकुपेसन, बट इफ आई स्टडी, इफ आई रिड, म राम्रोसँगले पढेँ, के गरेँ भने चाहिँ म पनि के हुन्छु, आई क्यान फलो अनदर अकुपेसन। ओके, बट तर सेल्फ सफिसिएन्ट भिलेजमा चाहिँ के हुन्छ, अकुपेसन वाइज हेऱ्यौँ भने हेरिडिटरी हुन्छ। द्याट इज द अकुपेसन अफ अ फादर विल बी पास्ड अन टु हिज सन। बुझ्यो, अकुपेसन चाहिँ के हुन्छ, आफ्नो बाउकोदेखि छोराकोमा जान्छ, अनि द्याट सिस्टम इज नोन एज द सिस्टम अफ पासिङ अन अकुपेसन फ्रम फादर टु सन इज नोन एज हेरिडिटरी। And last but not the least, that is mode of communication. Communication wise कस्तो थियो त self sufficient village मा, the mode of communication was very less. I just have written the word less. Let's focus on this word less, little. Less, little. किन भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ obviously, like I had told you all earlier, self-sufficient village मा चाहिँ के हुन्छ, सबैजना भरिपूर्ण हुन्छ नि त, एउटै गाउँमा पाउँछ, सबै कुरा पाउँछ उनीहरू। इट डजन्ट मिन नाउ दिस मोड अफ कम्युनिकेसन आई हेभ रिटन लेस, लिटल, तर मैले के भनेको छु, उनीहरू गर्दै गर्दैन थियो इन्टरेक्ट, अरूसँग गर्दै गर्दैन होइन, गर्थ्यो तर कम्ती मात्रामा। मोड अफ कम्युनिकेसन भनेको चाहिँ बातचित, यो गाउँदेखि अर्को गाउँ जानु, whether it be in terms of business, whether it be in terms of work, जेमा पनि होस् उनीहरूको कम्युनिकेसन चाहिँ बाहिरको दुनियाँसँग हुन्थ्यो तर कम्ती मात्रामा हुन्थ्यो। द्याट इज वाइ आई हेभ रिटन द वर्ड लेस or little। किन चाहिँ हुन्थ्यो त लेस, लेस किन हुन्थ्यो, किन, एज द वर्ड इन्डिकेट्स सेल्फ सफिसिएन्ट। मोड अफ कम्युनिकेसन लेस भनेको छ कम्ती हुन्थ्यो, किन कम्ती हुन्थ्यो, एन्सर यहीँनिर छ, सेल्फ सफिसिएन्ट। किन, जब गाउँै भरिपूर्ण छ, उनीहरूको गाउँमा प्रायः जस्तो सबै कुरा पाउँछ त उनीहरू यताउता जानु परेन नि त। नाउ फर दिस अल्सो आई वुड लाइक टु गिभ इक्जाम्पल, द पिपल अफ दार्जिलिङ, दार्जिलिङदेखि प्रायः जस्तो बजार गर्नु कहाँ जान्छ, सिलगढीमा आउँछ नि। किन आउँछ सिलगढीमा, बिकज दार्जिलिङमा कति कुरा पाउँदैन, हो कि होइन, द्याट इज वाइ दे गो टु सिलगढी। तर यदि दार्जिलिङमै सबै कुरा पाउने भए सिलगढी जस्तो, दार्जिलिङको मान्छे पनि के हुन्थ्यो, दे वुड बी सेल्फ सफिसिएन्ट। एन्ड वेन अ सोसाइटी इज सेल्फ सफिसिएन्ट दे डु नट इन्टरेक्ट विथ अदर सोसाइटी, दे इन्टरेक्ट इन अ भेरी लिटल वे, अर दे इन्टरेक्ट, इट डजन्ट मिन द्याट दे डु नट इन्टरेक्ट, दे इन्टरेक्ट तर कम्ती मात्रामा इन्टरेक्ट गर्छ। Okay, so this is the second last point, and now moving on to the last point. Okay, now the very last point, that is means of communication. This is the last point, that is means of communication. Now if you see at the book there are many points, but I've just taken a few important points and then I've just put it in this way so that it becomes easy for you all, and I hope it is becoming easy for you all. So moving on to this point, that is means of communication. Now what is means of communication? Means of communication means how do you communicate from your place. तिमीहरू आफ्नो घरदेखि स्कुल कसरी जान्छौ, कतिजना हिँडेर जान्छ, कतिजना गाडी लिएर जान्छ, कतिजना आधी बाटो हिँडेर आधी बाटो गाडीमा जान्छ हो कि हैन सो देयरफोर means of communication means how do you communicate how do you commute from your school to workplace from marketplace to your house this means that okay बुझ्यो होला communication भनेको so means of communication अब means of communication कस्तो थियो त self sufficient village मा मैले प्राय स्कुलमा पढाउँदाखेरि मैले के देखेको छु भन्दाखेरि many of them gets confused that is they ask miss self sufficient village के छ उनीहरू सेल्फ सफिसिएन्ट छ तर के भन्छ भन्दाखेरि उनीहरू इन्टरेक्ट गर्दैन बाहिरको मान्छेहरुसँग त्यसो भए त अन्त सेल्फ मिन्स अफ कम्युनिकेसन पनि सिम्पल हुनुपर्ने त उनीहरू त कम्युनिकेटै नगर्नु पर्ने बाहिर जाँदै नजानु पर्ने उनीहरू त आफ्नो गाउँमा मात्र बस्छ भनेर दिस क्वेसन अराइजेस सो आई वुड लाइक टु पुट इट इन अ सिम्पल वे द्याट इज मिन्स अफ कम्युनिकेसन भनेको चाहिँ के हो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ मैले भनिहालेँ अगाडि हाउ डु यु ट्राभल हाउ डु यु कम्युट from your workplace to home the means of communication चाहिँ के थियो भन्दाखेरि it was very much poor it was very much poor no proper roadways okay means of communication मा चाहिँ के थियो त्यहाँनिर सरी त्यहाँनिर के थियो के थियो त्यो भिलेज जुन चाहिँ मार्केट छ सेल्फ सफिसिएन्ट भिलेजमा द मार्केट वाज भेरी मच स्मल मार्केट जुन चाहिँ छ मार्केट वाज भेरी मच स्मल मार्केट सानो भएको खण्डमा त्यही सेल्फ सफिसिएन्ट जुन चाहिँ सोसाइटी छ जुन चाहिँ गाउँ छ यतादेखि उतादेखि यता जानु के हुन्छ गाउँ बस्तीमा तिमीहरूले हेर्यौँ भने त्यहाँनिर मिन्स अफ कम्युनिकेसन प्रायः जस्तो हुँदैन पनि हो कि होइन त्यहाँनिर यो ठाउँदेखि अर्को ठाउँ जानु पर्यो भने उनीहरूलाई साह्रो पर्छ हिँड्नुपर्छ कोही बेला बाटो राम्रो हुँदैन कोही बेला गाडी हुँदैन तर त्यो जुन चाहिँ सेल्फ सफिसिएन्ट भिलेज छ जुन चाहिँ सेल्फ सफिसिएन्ट भिलेज छ त्यो भिलेज त्यो भिलेजभित्र मार्केट जुन चाहिँ बजार छ त्यो चाहिँ एकदमै सानो भएको खण्डमा मान्छेलाई यतादेखि उतादेखि यता आउनु सजिलो पर्थ्यो बुझ्यो कि बुझेन तर मैले यहाँनिर means of communication very much poor लेखेको छु at the same time market small लेखेको छु do not get confused किन भन्दाखेरि मार्केट भनेको चाहिँ के हो दोकान हो नि त जहाँनिर उनीहरूले किनबेच गर्छ त्यो चाहिँ के थियो सानो थियो अनि जब एउटा कुनै बजार सानो हुन्छ त्यहाँनिर आउजाउ गर्न सजिलो हुन्छ नि त ओके न बट यहाँनिर कम्युनिकेसन गर्नेको जुन चाहिँ कम्युट गर्ने बाटो छ रोड छ त्यो चाहिँ के थियो अरे एकदम राम्रो थिएन भनेर भनेको छ नो प्रपर रोडवेज इट वाज भेरी मच पुअर बिकज किन भन्दाखेरि उनीहरू सेल्फ सफिसिएन्ट छ तर गाउँभित्र मात्रै छ नि त गाउँको बाहिर छोडेर उनीहरूले के गरेको छ उनीहरूले रोड सिस्टम ट्रान्सपोर्ट सिस्टमहरू हेरेको हुँदैन द्याट इज वाइ मिन्स अफ कम्युनिकेसन के हुन्छ त्यहाँनिर एकदमै भेरी मच पुअर हुन्छ एन्ड दे डु नट बिकज दे गेट एभ्रिथिङ इन देयर भिलेज दे डु नट ह्याभ टु गो बाहिर गइरहनु पर्दैन उनीहरू अनि त्यो बाहिरको उनीहरूले त्यति इन्ट्रेस्ट पनि गर्दैन बाहिरको रोड राम्रो छ छैन सडक राम्रो छ उनीहरूको के हो उनीहरूको खालि आफ्नो गाउँ राम्रो भयो भने मात्रै हुन्छ उनीहरूको गाउँ किन उनीहरूको गाउँ राम्रो हुन्छ उनीहरूले किन त्यो याद गर्छ बिकज एभ्रिथिङ दे गेट इनसाइड देयर भिलेज एन्ड देयरफोर मार्केट वाज अल्सो भेरी मच स्मल द्याट इज वाइ मिन्स अफ कम्युनिकेसन वाज भेरी मच पुअर एन्ड देयर वर नो प्रपर रोडवेज okay and with this I hope Indian society structure and process को जुन चाहिँ यो टपिक आज मैले गराएँ self sufficient village society I hope this is very much clear to you all have understood what does the word village mean before understanding the concept before going to the chapters please understand the concept understand the word जस्तै कि यहाँ self sufficient village society छ यो पढ्नु अगाडि टेक आउट द टर्म भिलेज पहिला भिलेजलाई निकाल बुझ भिलेज भनेको के हो वेन भिलेज शब्द क्लियर हुन्छ ट्राई टु अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड सेल्फ सफिसिएन्ट क्लियर भयो भने तिमीलाई अभियसली सबै क्लियर हुन्छ एन्ड आई थिङ्क आई हेभ डन माई बेस्ट टु मेक यु अल अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड विथ दिस the concept of self-sufficient village society and the economic of self-sufficient village is over. Thank you, class.